The most learned gentlemen on our team, Matt Spider-Lee and Blake Tennant. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you, Brush, Blake, and all our viewers and listeners. Great to be here. What promises to be a spectacular day, and if it's as good as what we had yesterday, gee, we're in for an absolute classic. So looking forward to what confronts us in about an hour's time.
Yes, g'day all listeners as well. It's a pleasure coming to East Ringwood for the grand final. It's always great, and we've got our two best sides, I reckon, in the day today. And as Spider said, I think we've got a ripping game. Conditions is not great, bit of rain around the area, but happy Father's Day as well, I should mention as well today.
Absolutely, to all the fathers.
Yeah, I know my dad's probably around the ground somewhere.
Did you spoil him this morning?
Not really.
Did you call him?
No, because I saw him this morning, gave him a hug because my younger brother played in the final today down at Chirnside, so I'll see him tonight though, that's definitely for sure.
Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, this morning there was under 19.5 action this morning, and Chirnside took that out this morning by 10 points over a gallant bullying Templestowe, and it's been a great season for them in their first year of Eastern Football Netball League. They'll be better for the experience in coming, and they'll be back bigger and better next year. Currently, we're at 11 minutes into the third quarter here in the Reserves Grand Final, and Warrandyte holds sway here by 26 points, 5-5-35 to Whitehorse Pioneers 1-3-9. Gentlemen, let's kick off our pre-match this afternoon, and have a quick look at the two sides before the relevant coaches join us. Churnside Park have had a fantastic season, led by Justin Ficcarelli. They've played each other 4 times, and Churnside have won 3 of them. Well, is fourth time going to be a charm for them this afternoon?
Well, they hope so. Look, I mean, they've been a dominant side all season, Churnside Park. They've rightfully deserved their place in the grand final. They've certainly set the trend. Been a high-scoring team at times, and they've worked their way through some a journey of moments through the year, but they've been challenged a number of times during the year by other teams around them. So today, when they are challenged, it'll be interesting to see how they step up. And Whitehorse, once again back to the grand final. Great to see them back in consecutive seasons, and just be interesting to see whether they can go a little bit better than what they did this time last year. Yeah,
Blake, the last 3 times Churnside have beaten Whitehorse quite comprehensively. Does that give Whitehorse added motivation for this game compared to what they've played previously?
I think so, because if you look at the result, but you've got to remember Whitehorse did beat Churnside at Churnside, which is very hard to do.
Very early in the year.
Yeah, very early in the year, and the sides are different, obviously changes of course, but Churnside would definitely be the red hot favourites, don't get me wrong, but Whitehorse, I think they'll be definitely motivated. Last week would have definitely got that with a big win over Warrandyte yesterday in a prelim final. So they're gonna be up and about, Whitehorse. But my only thing is with Churnside Park is they've only played 1 game in really a month of footy. So
it's always a question, isn't it? We talked about it yesterday with Donvale. You go through the second semi, then you go to the grand final, and the scores came back through the other way. And it happens so many times when the team that plays consistently over a 3 or 4 week period tends to get over the line. So it will be interesting to see how that goes today.
It'll be interesting to see how the 2 spearheads of Whitehorse go today with Tom Young and also Daniel Horvat, to see what those 2 have in store, but also brings the action to the smalls as well.
Correct.
And also the midfielders from Whitehorse to get them through. And last year's motivation with the grand final, unfortunately, wasn't their day, but it's similar type of conditions to what it was last year. So
and it's defensive games too. This is going to be all about a defensive game, taking your chances with the breeze, Brash, and then what you can do against it and how well you can defend. So both teams are going to have to really, be ready and focused on how they can, with all those aspects of the game. So the game style is going to be really important today.
Ground conditions are not too bad considering the weather that is confronting us. We've got high winds and intermittent showers throughout the afternoon. How do you think this game's going to play out? Sparta, I'll start with you.
Well, it's just getting off to that big start, as we just alluded to. Like, if you're Churnside Park, you just want to get out of the gates early, set the platform, set the trend of the game. You want to boss the game early, put scoreboard pressure on, and make Whitehorse chase you. And I think if they do that, that goes well way for them to setting up victory. But if it's the other way, and Whitehorse put the pressure on, high pressure, force turnovers of Churnside Park, and really defend strongly through guys like Dalgleish, then that's going to certainly give Whitehorse, the opportunity to score, with their key forwards. So there's a lot riding on this, particularly getting off to a key start. I think it's one of those games, if you're goals ahead coming home in the last quarter, you're going to give yourself a good opportunity to win this game.
Blake, how do you see it with the prevailing conditions? Does it favour either side, or do you think whoever gets on top and adapts to the conditions more quickly can seize control?
Well, if you ever want to have a look at a wetter footy game, look at the Mitcham Park Orchards game last year. Mitcham really did all the hard work, the dirty work in the second quarter to pretty much win the game. If you watch the game, of course. But I think if a side has, I'm telling this now, if a side has a 30-point lead at half time, I think that side will win. That's just how I see it. And I think if Churnside, they've got a lot of small players, a few good tools today, but my only doubts with Whitehorse, the smalls need to get to work early.
Yeah, that's been the big question on their smalls. They haven't done it consistently across the year. But if Whitehorse can get on top, particularly at contest and clearance and stoppages, then they're going to put a lot of pressure on. But Churnside Park do have the smalls, and they do get to the feet of some of their taller forwards. So that's going to be one upper hand advantage that they will have in the game if they can get that forward territory game going. Well,
first cab off the rank this afternoon, Whitehorse coach and player Andrew Haining. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Hey mates, how you going?
Good. Look, it's been a long road for redemption. Last year made the grand final. There's never any guarantee the year after you're going to make it. You must be happy with how the club's responded.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously it was great for us to obviously play off the grand final last year, but that's last year. Who really cares about that? We move on. Fantastic this year to have our twos playing in the grand final. Hopefully they can turn this around. It's a good battle, really showing how the conditions out there are quite windy at the moment.
Yep.
So it's sort of good to watch our boys who we know playing the ground so we can sort of learn from it coming into our game.
Andrew, good luck this afternoon. That's a big game for the footy club back at the grand final again. Let's get to the nitty gritty of this. What are the key messages to your playing group today? What are the things that you're really going to focus on, enforce and demand of your players throughout the course of this four-quarter battle that you're really going to have to drill down on to get victory here this afternoon? What are the things that are going to get you the victory, what things that you do well, and the things that you have to stop in terms of Churnside Park, what they do to get victory today?
Yeah, I think obviously this is the fifth game against Churnside Park that we've played, so we sort of know them quite well. So we've sort of got a couple of matchups in place that we want to try and set up today to try and help beat Churnside. But for us, I think with the grand final, it's really going back to, you should look at it, just go back to basics. You're not trying to overcomplicate it. It's really about a couple of the key main pillars, your high work rate, playing for your teammates, trying to be your best footballer that you can be, high intensity. We know it's going to be a hot footy, so who can stand up to the pressure early is going to really set you up for the rest of the game.
Scenario playing plays a big part in grand finals. Have you got them all in place? Game gets tight, where you need to be, what needs to happen, what are those sort of plans in place now? Are they all starting to formulate so that you don't have to also invent them, but they're already in place for the leaders to execute when the right time comes?
Yeah, I think that's it. We spent a bit of time on Thursday sort of calling it scenarios. So if that, then this, and sort of what if this happens, what will we do? Sort of just throwing it back onto the boys and asking the question and getting them to give me the answers, just to ensure that we're all on the same page.
And for you as a coach, how are you, and a player, how are you feeling, from the coaching perspective, but also you've got to go and play the game as well. So you're the coach, you're directing the traffic, but you also got to go out there and perform at the stage yourself. So how are you feeling juggling both of those prospects at the moment?
Yeah, I think, look, it's the third year of being a playing coach, so I think I've sort of got that balance down pat at the moment. I personally think I've got a massive job playing against, obviously, their recommend Reynolds, who's had a fantastic season. So I know my personal job and what I need to do to achieve myself in my game to set us up. But then from a coaching point of view, it's obviously really setting up the bench to allow them have full license of knowing what I would want in any situation, and allowing them to pull the trigger when they see fit.
G'day, Andrew. Blake Tennant speaking here as well.
Hi, Blake.
Very, it's you're going to join some very good company come 5 o'clock time, if it does happen, of course. Be a dual premiership player as well. But how was the week? Obviously, I popped down on Tuesday to do a few things. But how did you prepare? Do you think you're well prepared from last year compared to this year? Do you think you've ticked all the boxes?
Yeah, I definitely think. I think also having our reserves train all week, it just makes training better. You've got 2 teams playing a grand final, there's all that excitement with it. You can sort of have better drills with more people on the track, and then sort of go a bit more head to head with them to play at each other's scenarios and things like that. But it's been a great week. I think sort of look back on the last year, and I think we thought we should have been there, but we sort of got outplayed by Scoresby. Whereas this year and this week, we think we're quite deep into this, and we have full confidence that come later this afternoon, we'll be the team that's in front.
Well, Andrew, look, I know it's normally we'd love to speak to you a bit longer, but grand final day being as it is, it's a busy day for coaches and players alike. But thank you very much for giving up your time at this late stage. It's really appreciated, and good luck to yourself and the Whitehorse Pioneers. And hopefully at 5 o'clock you can avenge last year's grand final loss and win promotion Division 3.
No, fantastic, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys all have a great call, and we put on a good show for you. And yeah, you're playing our song at the end of the day.
No worries. There
Thanks,
you go.
Andrew.
Thank you very much. Andrew Haining joining us from the Whitehorse Pioneers, and he's been really generous with his time,
Yeah,
and we
been
look
terrific.
forward.
Good
And
stuff,
look, it's we can talk about his other players and his other players, but right now, Churnside Park coach joins us for, I think, maybe the second time this year. Justin Ficcarelli. Good afternoon, Justin.
G'day, how are you?
Good,
Thanks
mate.
for having me.
Look, it's. I look back over Churnside over the last couple of years, and just as an outsider, I think it's time for Churnside to flex their muscle and to move into a new decision. However, you've still got 100 minutes of football to negotiate today, and Whitehorse will be seeking some redemption from last year, so you're going to have to work pretty hard to take the points this afternoon.
Absolutely. I mean, the conditions are pretty blustery out there. It's a bit wet, so anything can happen in a grand final. But as long as we stick to what we know and the way we've played all year, we've got our confidence in the boys that come away with it. But there's a lot of hard work before then. So if we just stick to our structure throughout the day, we'll be okay. And pressure's probably a key factor in our game. So when we bring the heat early, or for 4 quarters, I guess from AFL level down to juniors, if you bring the heat, you win games.
Justin, good luck this afternoon in the grand final. Let's get into it. What are the key messages in focus for you guys today? You just talked about the pressure and you need to bring it, but what are some of the other areas of the messaging that you're going to talk about, or you've already talked about to the players from the perspective this afternoon, that things that you're going to do well and things that you're going to need to do to stop Whitehorse in their tracks through what they do well as well?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, we're not going to go away from being aggressive side. We're a fair bit different to last year, where I've given a bit of a licence for the players to just take the game on and a bit more through the middle. So I saw Whitehorse took a leaf out of our book and went through the middle a bit more last week. So we've got to try and just cover the centre of the ground a bit more. Travis sort of patrols through the middle there. So we'll just try and block it up, get our half forwards right up through there. And obviously, pressure in the midfield is massive. So if we're pressuring their mids, they're not getting easy ball down to Horvat and Young on their tit. So basically just putting pressure on the ball. So what we've done the last few times is we've done that exactly, and those two tall forwards didn't have much of a say in the game.
When you're the coach, you're a player as well. How are you juggling that this morning? Getting ready for this game, you've got the coaching hat on, you're trying to get organised from that point of view, but also from a player, you've got to get out there and play and perform yourself, similar to what Andrew does for Whitehorse. It's not an easy one to do and to juggle, so you're going to be relying on a lot of support around you to help you get that job done today, and lean on people for different times during the game.
Yeah, for sure, and I do rely on the sideline as well, but the boys do trust me, and they've got a lot of trust in me, so they know what they're doing. So and I'm out there and I can make calls as I see it. So on the go. So it's probably it is a benefit being out in the ground. So you can make those instant calls, and then or either pull the runner out and give a message that way. But I just showed a little 3-minute clip that I cut up throughout the year from pre-season to now, and just showed how far we've come. And what it's taken to get us to this point, and the boys were up and about with that, so it was good. Went down well.
Justin, great to talk to you as well. I'm looking forward to the old, that one. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to. But I just want to talk about, the week of being, and it was would have been a bit of heartache for you. Unfortunately, had to get rid of, not get rid of, but just drop someone, unfortunately, which isn't great. But how did you go? Obviously, he's a mate to you that you've unfortunately couldn't get in the side. But how was the week? I know it would have been a bit stressful, but we popped in on Tuesday to say hello and do a few things as well. But how was the Thursday night?
Yeah, that was always tough. Xavier Leslie comes in. He missed that first final, but he played all year. He had a sore rib, so so he comes back in. So it was a tough chat with Jax, but he did take it well, and as well as I thought he would, so it was really good. So Thursday night was brilliant. A lot of past players at the club, one flag in 47 years. So I just said to the boys, that's how hard it is to win, and people say, we'll be the best side all year, but that means bugger all if you don't win the game on the big day. So that's our main aim. So a lot of hard work has gone into it, a lot of fundraising, a lot of volunteers, what make the club tick, and that's what we're playing for.
Yeah, definitely. And I see it as a big family club, Churnside Park. But the thing I want to just talk about as well, you're a big time player. You've done it on the big stage. But what have you brought to the club? For today. What experience have you told the group that comes on grand final day? Are the nerves there? Do you feel like?
Well, it is.
There's always nerves.
I told the boys, pressure's a privilege. We've won our way to this position, and you've got to embrace that pressure. And it's the team who settles quickest on the game, and adjust to the conditions like today. So I'll just tell the boys, just embrace it, because there's thousands of people would love to be in our position today playing on a grand final. So that's what it's about.
Justin, finally, Jake Corsey's had a fantastic season for you. He's kicked 70 goals in 16 games. He's provided a real focal point, and it's probably taken a little bit of pressure off yourself to being the main goal kicker. Yourself, you've been involved. You've kicked 36 goals yourself. I just want to allude to the fact that you being on the field, you said that you then get the chance to make the call where you feel that you can benefit the side the most. So I gather those 36 goals may have come from different positions of the ground throughout the season.
Yeah, that's right. So, I get right up the ground these days now as well. So I'll just try and give a bit of space. We have had a bit of injury during the year, but you'll see Trent Carsidine's come back in and he'll be forward as well. So that gives us another X factor. But Jake's been brilliant. It's probably one of the best since I've seen, maybe when I was playing with Damien Cupido.
Yeah.
Off the ground.
There's a talent.
When he picked the ball up, left or right, just snap and barely missed. So
that run on that we saw against Temple Stone. That was incredible.
That talent doesn't come around too often. So we are really wrapped with what we sport this year. And when you've got a key forward to kick to, makes a big difference in this division. I mean, any division, but 70 goal forward doesn't grow on trees.
Well, Justin, thank you very much for coming up and joining us. Grand final day is the biggest day of the year. Doesn't matter whether you're coach, player or assistant or official. Good luck to Churnside Park this afternoon. You've had a fantastic season, straight into the grand final, and if the gods are smiling upon you this afternoon, my friend.
Thank you very much.
5 o'clock, you may be premiers and moving up to Division 3.
Thank you very much. I just want to say you boys do a brilliant job covering all 5 divisions, a tough gig. So
thank you very much.
A lot of the boys listen in, so we really appreciate it. All right, boys.
Worries.
There you go.
Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Good stuff,
There you
Justin.
have, Coach.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, terrific.
Justin Figarelli.
And to get access just before a grand finals, particularly when Blokes are playing, I think that's really important. And we understand that the demands on it too. So they've got to go down, get changed, get ready, and final messages, and they're out there. So it's good that he set aside 10 minutes for us to come up and have a chat. Both coaches.
Roughly 2 minutes into the last quarter here in the reserves grand final. It's Warrandyte 6-5-41 leading Whitehorse Pioneers 2-6-18. And Pioneers are having a shot on goal here, which would be a badly needed goal, and they've put one through, so it's back to 17 points. Gentlemen, let's talk about the sides in isolation now. Let's have a talk about some of the key players from Churnside, and I've already alluded to Jake Corsi, Justin Ficcarelli, and Sam King's also kicked 25 goals.
He's been good, King. Yep.
He's been through the definitely ups and downs of this footy club, and the King name is a big name in this footy club, so he would definitely would have a big say in this game.
I think the midfield, the balance is going to be in the midfield. You know, you got blokes like Burt, Clavant.
Clavont's going to be good.
Dirksen.
Dirksen, who I've tipped to win the medal. I just think that they provide so much for them. It's going to be a real tussle in that midfield with Whitehorse.
But, if you look at Whitehorse, they've got Ward, they've got Sim, obviously Haining. You know, he's been there on the big stage, of course. He actually
Carroll's been good for them in recent weeks.
He won a best on ground as well in 2013 grand final for Montrose. So he's got that experience as well, and Fabris as well. So it's going to be a very good midfield battle, this one.
Patrick Horvat's also come of age for Whitehorse this year. We've watched a few of the Pioneers games on the tape this year, and he's proven that he's a match winner and can kick goals from areas that not too many players can do. It's one player that Churnside are going to have to put a lot of work in this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to play out of their skins with that, and they're going to have to put a lot of time into Horvat, make sure that he doesn't get the supply that he has been. And also, guys like Young, we know what he does as well. So they've got so many options, but if they can defend strongly, close those options down with their intercepting as well, similar to what Scoresby did yesterday, and get that first use of ball transition, going to make it a big impact in the game.
I think Blake, two of the barometers for Whitehorse Pioneers, and one of them's always been Eddie Sim.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been in their best 11 times out of 15 games this year. So he basically, he nearly picks himself every week in this lineup. But also Jason Fabris, he's also been in their best 10 times out of 17 games. So these are going to be two key players that Whitehorse will want to be in the contest for the majority of the afternoon.
No, I couldn't agree more there, Brush. They're the two players that, when ball's in hand, you want to have the players in their hands. Those two players really show on this game for this. And, they've been the best for reasons, because they've been the clear standouts for Whitehorse in this game. So they're going to have a huge game to dictate if Whitehorse want to win this one.
Another player, Spider, has been a staple basically since the inception of the Pioneers is Joel Dalgleish.
Oh, Joel, yep.
He's played. He first started off as a forward, but has moved back. Last year, he played in the back three in the grand final last year, and I think he seemed to find his way there. He's got a big job this afternoon on Corsi if he gets that first opportunity.
Well, he's going to get that opportunity. Joel is one that thrives on those sort of opportunities. He's just such a great leader for their footy club. Been very loyal over such a long period of time. Started out as a young player, with the prospect of being a forward. Then they've thrown him around over the years, but now he finds his way down back, and just the way that he goes about it, week after week, he always gives his best on his direct opponent, and he's just one of those guys in big games that does step up. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes this afternoon, and he is a real leader of that football club and has been for such a long period of time.
What we'll do now is we do have a specialist coach type coming to join us this afternoon, and he'll be joining us very shortly. So what we're going to do is we're going to just swap divisions and preview a couple of some big Premier and Division 1 clashes set down for argument or decision this afternoon. Blake?
Can I just quickly talk about the result yesterday in the Div 2 final?
Yes, you can. Yes.
The prelim final. And I want to sing out this player. And, he didn't kick a goal last week, but guess what? He kicked 10 yesterday.
Who was that?
10 of the best.
Liam Hewitt kicked
really?
10. Kicked 10, and guess what? They kicked 10 goals in the last quarter to overcome Surrey Park. They were down all day, Montana South, and they managed to win by 31 points, and Liam Hewitt kicked 10 goals yesterday. So
Yes, I believe that I was monitoring that game, Blake, and I think 5 minutes into the second quarter, Wani South were 35 points down.
Yeah, it
So-
wasn't looking good for them, Brush, at that point, but
No, that's
they
a
really found something after half time.
And just quickly as
Yep.
well before we preview, Ball went into another grand final,
Yes.
which is superb stuff.
Well, it's not surprising. I mean,
No,
they were
yeah.
always the prospect that, their finals form and their form generally had been just starting to up curve in the last couple of weeks. Brenton Sampson's got their team going at the moment. Get the first step into the grand final, going to be very hard to beat. But Blackburn, they get another opportunity to get there. Just got to go the long way through the preliminary final. We'll wait to see who they play this afternoon.
So we're going to do a super sub here. I'm going to sub out for the great man Oders, but thanks, boys. Thanks for pre-game. And,
No worries.
We'll talk soon.
The
Well-
voice of the East will be very shortly, Blake, when he does the ground ceremony
Yes,
pre-game.
the Cane Corns of the AFL is our Blake Tennant. But this man needs really no introduction. He's an EFNL 300-game life member. He's played in many games in this division and knows this and knows both
That's grand
these
final
sides.
day very well.
Yeah, and he knows this division intimately. It's a warm welcome to Lee Adamek. Good afternoon, Lee.
Afternoon, gentlemen. How are we?
Yeah, good lead.
Not too bad. The two sides that are taking place in the grand final this afternoon, Churnside Park and Whitehorse. Initial observation before we look at some of the players that you've pinpointed for listeners and us to watch this afternoon.
Well, it's hard to go past the best performed team of the year. I mean, Justin's come in and put his own spin on the Churnside list. He's put pace on the ball, and they've been the benchmark of the division, so everyone's sort of been chasing him all year. And look, I think most people that walked out of the ground after the second semi last week would have thought, gee, they're going to be pretty hard to beat after what they served up. They were pretty impressive. So it's going to take a lot from the Whitehorse guys, but watching the game last week live as well, they were a lot more improved in the effort and the run was there. So hopefully we can have a contest not too dissimilar to tomorrow yesterday, that goes pretty deep and gives us something enjoyable to watch, hopefully.
What were the I know you played at Churnside a couple of seasons ago. What's been the difference since you left? What's Justin done? Has he added youth and run to the lineup, or?
Yeah, absolutely. He's big on obviously getting the guys fitter and also injecting a lot of pace. If you ask most of the coaches in the division, it's not just their midfield team that bats so deep, it's their wings. They've got the best wing combination with Ryan Camion, who's a young emerging star. Obviously, Matty King running through there, and James Bally's just come back from injury as well. He's obviously the seasoned campaigner and very important to their structure as well. So, they bat very deep across, obviously, that area of the ground where you want to win the football in Division 4 and get it into your dangerous forwards. And obviously, they've got the most dangerous forward in Jake Causey, who is an extremely gifted player. There's not too many guys in Division 4 that can kick it on both feet very naturally. And I watch a lot of footage. I'm a bit of a local football nerd, unfortunately. My wife hates me for that, but I saw some footage of him the other week when I was watching him, and he was actually getting tackled from about 35 metres out in the pocket, and whilst he was getting taken down, kicked it on his non-preferred foot through the goal. So his goal sense is unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you look at the statistics, they've only lost one game this year where he's kicked 4 goals plus.
Yeah,
So
it's an incredible record, isn't it?
If he's able to kick that 4 goals plus, they're halfway there in my opinion. So it's going to be a big job for whoever gets that job.
Who would you be sending? What would you be doing?
It's a tough one because Jake's very good in the air, but he's also very good when he hits
Would you
the
give
ground.
Dalglish the first dibs at it, Lee?
Well, the problem is they're probably going to send Dirksen deep again, and my concern there is that Dirksen is very strong.
He is, yeah.
And for me, Joel pushes me out of the way like I'm a toothpick, but very, very hard to push Jared Dirksen out of the way. So don't expect Dirko to go deep again. I'd sort of say Causey will play in front of him. I would be looking at like a McDougall or something like that can have that gift of the gab when it hits the ground, that he's able to go with him, tackle him, corral him, because even when he's under genuine pressure, he still knows where the goals are to get it on his thing. So he's always a chance when it hits the ground.
So if you're Whitehorse, what are you doing today to get the game on your terms early, particularly to set the game up? They're going in. They've got to get off to a good start in this game. Otherwise, they can run the risk of being blown away early, and that's what happened last year in the grand final. What are the things that they've got to focus in on at the start of this game? What are some of the key area points you think?
Have to control the pace of the game. Cannot allow it to be open warfare against these guys where it's a running game and they're getting their running game up. Has to be contested, have to get their heads in the trough and bring it in all the day. A stoppage, out of bounds, a mark, it's all a win. Anything that where they can control the pace, and once they get forward to centre, then start to go a bit more aggressive. But they need to control that defensive half of the ground and not allow it to be a foot race, so these wings and the midfielders can get it into Causey and co and cause havoc.
So let's identify some of those players for Whitehorse. Who are some of those players that need to get to work early?
Well, definitely their prime movers in the midfield. So Patrick Carroll, who's come across from Banyule this year, absolute star. Unfortunately, till about round 5, then did a meniscus, and the boys didn't think he was probably going to get back, but albeit got back late in the season and was able to play a bit of a warm-up game against Forest Hill. Fairly non-effective in the second semi, but last week kicked 3 goals from the midfield and looked the player that I'd saw earlier in the year. So keep an eye on him, number 7. I think he's going to play fairly well today. Obviously, Eddie Sim, we're going to need him to hit God mode again like he has the last couple of weeks. Look, even when he had a bit of a stopper on him, I think Mitchell Skeen was sitting on him at stoppage. He still had a large influence on the game. Not as much as last week. I thought arguably probably him and Carroll were the 2 best on the ground against Warrandyte last week. So, and obviously the 2 forwards down forward. Dan Horvat, I heard you guys talking about who's played on Horvat the last 3 times. Well, it's actually been Sam Downey who's played on him and kept him to 2 goals over 3 stints. So will it be a case of where Sam gets the bragging rights for the 4th time, or will the big fella have an influence on this game?
Lee, Justin Ficcarelli, obviously he's basically said that he likes to dictate and play in positions where he feels that the side needs him right throughout the match. Obviously that becomes a bit of a match-up issue for the opposition. If you're hanging, do you play someone that's going to go with him all afternoon, or do you swap opponents when he plays in the relevant position?
Yeah, well, at times, depending on how they've been going, if you watch the footage, he will get up the ground and he will be that sort of link option for them. And then that way he sort of drags a decent defender with him out of Causey's way, and that aren't able to drop off and help out. Obviously, the more help you have around Causey to try and nullify him. So, he's been very good in that regard in a team space, that he's willing to do those things. And that comes with leadership, that you do things that, might take you away from the goals. And, to his credit, he's been able to do that this year and do the right thing by the team.
Yeah, I look at both these sides, and I think there are pluses and minuses for both. I almost feel like that it's going to come down to centre clearances, right? And the way that each respective side's forwards play this ground. It can be a little tricky. Yep. You've got to, especially when the wind's up like it is today, you've got to work that wind out pretty quickly. Otherwise, you're gonna see a barrage of points to your score, which is going to kill you in the end. Yeah,
it's chalk and cheese from the second semi. The second semi was a beautiful, I think, 18-degree day, not a blade of wind, nice sunny, dry track. So the team that can obviously get that scoreboard pressure on early. If we look back to the second semi, Whitehorse had that opportunity where they kicked 1 goal 4, could have easily been 4 goals 1. They hit the post. That's what they're going to need to do today to be able to put that scoreboard pressure on Churnside and get them away from feeling comfortable from playing their style of footy and getting them to dump the football like Churnside made them in the second semi, just dump the football down the line. So that's what it's going to take, is that early scoreboard pressure from those guys to make a game of it today.
And also being able to keep possession of the ball, particularly when the wind is a factor, because it's also always plays a part, doesn't it? When you're kicking with the aid of the breeze, you're going to get a lot more with it, but when you're kicking against it, you're going to have to be more responsible when you're distributing the ball and not overuse the ball with things like handball yesterday, where we saw a team like Donvale, because they were so pressured at so much time in the game physically, they turned the ball over and the ball was going back the other way.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be potentially a game of 2 halves where defensively you're coming out to that defensive side, numbers, get a mark, get it out of bounds and wind the clock down a little bit potentially, and obviously make hay while the sun shines when you actually have the win. So yeah, we'll see how that sort of plays out. There'll be a little bit of nerves early until, once again it's been a tale of 2 teams. You've had one team that's played every week and stayed in that week-to-week routine, and then you've had, a team that's played so well in the second semi and then had to wait that time to have another opportunity to come out to win the cup. So it's two different preparations.
What's the best one? Is it in your eyes? What's the best way to go about this? Is it the continuity factor of playing week after week, or do you think Churnside will be sitting there going, well, we're fresh, we know we're ready to go, but then it's that mental edge, isn't it, being able to switch on straight away?
Well, I think in this division, I think teams have become accustomed to having that bye with Nuttawading dropping out. So I think maybe yesteryears where that might have affected teams a little bit more. I think teams, most teams have had 3 byes plus the King's birthday, and so they're a little bit more accustomed to it. So I saw absolutely no cobwebs in that second semi with the guys that, Churnside took in probably 4 guys that, from the outside looking in, were a little bit underdone. Dirksen was coming off a month off. You had Castledine coming from a hamstring after 4 weeks. You had Bally 4 weeks hamstring. Dylan Causey coming back from a broken foot, and they look like they've been playing all year. So what do I know about football?
Don't worry, mate. I've made myself look like the village idiot throughout the year, so I know all about that.
So
another question I think that's going to be really important. We always stress this throughout the year. It's your bottom 6. If you look at the bottom 6 of these two sides, who's got the more scope, right, when the chips are down?
And when you've got the magnets there on the whiteboard, which coach do you think has the magic magnet? If something's not working, what's going to be the key difference? What's the magnet move that you can make to swing the game back in your way if it's not going to plan at the start of the game? What's the big move that they might hold off to make?
They've definitely both got flexibility in what they do. So, I mean, obviously with Sam Downey, he's done such a great job on Horvat, but another week he's kicked 5 goals against Warrandyte during the home and away season. So they've definitely got guys that they can make adjustments. If something's not working forward of centre, they can swing a guy back. Downey can go back forward. Trent Castledine can go back and forward. So, and both teams have got that ability. Eddie Sim can do a mixture of things where he plays behind the ball, he plays midfield. It's going to be a contrast of two styles. I mean, Churnside, want pace on the ball.
Well, gentlemen, we're going to take our first break, and then we'll come back and talk more about this game, but also go through some of the games that are happening today and maybe look at it quickly what happened yesterday. But this is Division 4 Grand Final Day at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve. It's Churnside Park versus Whitehorse. Coming to you live on Radio Eastern 98.1 and streaming all around the world on Facebook and YouTube.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprain your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet. Pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. EFNL Grand Division 4 Grand Final Day. And just as we speak, Warrandyte in the reserve grade have won the premiership here, 7-8-50, defeating Whitehorse Pioneers 4-7-31. So big victory there for Warrandyte this year.
Yeah, they've been a pretty successful side in the reserves over the last couple of years. I think Warrandyte, they've been always around them out the grand final mark.
Yep.
So congratulations.
Let's quickly go through a couple of games that happened yesterday, Spider and Otis, and Blackburn were the favourites coming into the second semi-final based on some good home and away form, but Baldwin certainly took them to task yesterday, and they won by 47 points. It was Baldwin 13-13-91 defeating Blackburn 6-8-44. Was it a case that the week off beat Blackburn, or is it just the professionalism of Baldwin that just know when they have to get the job done, Spider?
Well, it's a combination of things, Brush. So first of all, on the Blackburn side of things, look, having that week off, look, there's always risk, what we've alluded to prior to the break coming into this game. But Blackburn, on the bigger ground, we thought that it would be a bit of a test for them. Some players haven't played finals, so that was a bit of a test in that vein as well. So from that perspective, they've got to go back now and have a bit of a look. I don't think they've got to change the way that they play. They've just, they've lost that first final, they get the second chance. On Baldwin, I think that they've been building over the last month. I think their last month has just started to upcurve. I think they're not too dissimilar to what Collingwood are doing, really, the way that they play, their intercepting game, their transition game. But yesterday it worked, whereas Blackburn couldn't get the ball into their forline, a lot of dump kicking, couldn't hit up their targets, really struggled with the breeze. And then in that first quarter, when Baldwin had the breeze, they just utilised it perfectly, Otis.
Experience counts for everything this time of year, and sometimes I wouldn't look too far. I mean, when you qualify on top, you get that second chance. Obviously, in that division, that gets you the prelim. So, they're still in the guaranteed prelim.
Oh, they are, absolutely, and I think they'll learn a lot from that first final too. They won't deviate from too much with the way that they play, but it was just yesterday, Baldwin with their experience, with those intercepting, players, guys like Young, Lynott, etc. Ben Silvani playing tremendous footy. Steve Slimming, I've been talking about him all year. He hasn't had an outstanding year, but he started the season a little bit slow, but he's built into the season. And yesterday, did he burn on the big ground out at Beaconsfield? A Sandford, champion from Sturt Football Club, premiership player there. And yesterday, did he step it up and played one of his best games since coming to the club? Yeah, it was it was a really, really a good win for Baldwin, because they were served. East Ringwood served it up to them the preceding week in that final, and Baldwin had to withstand quite a bit of pressure, Spider. They did, and without guys like Durden too yesterday. He didn't play, so their forward line looked a bit different. They went a little bit smaller. They've got those guys like Oakes, Markowski, all those sort of players that have been playing some pretty good footy. Their forward line setup is generally okay, but when Durden's in, I'm a lot more confident. But when he was out of the side, I was just a little bit unsure where all those goals were going to come from. But yesterday, they managed to get a good spread, and even a guy like Charlie Haley, at the moment, he's not playing.
To the panel, if I was Surrey Park, I'd be happy with. To the panel, if I was Surrey Park, I'd be happy with finishing sixth with a 9-9 record, and that give you something to build on. But once again, they've just exceeded expectations.
Well, they have, and I had them up in that preliminary final mark, and they've hit the mark. So I thought they'd land where they did, but and obviously Templestar are in the grand final. But one turner said we didn't know a lot where they were going to, sort of fit into the equation. But they've really gone beyond expectations, and now they find themselves in a grand final and a big chance to win it, because they're in such good form at the moment. I really was impressed last week with the way they defended. Their ball transition, tall forwards, and so many good forwards, like guys like O'Keefe. You got Hewitt yesterday kicking goals. Warner's been in some really good form as well. Grime are doing some really good things, but their midfield, guys like Caney, they've just had, Liggett was terrific once again. So they've just
been a star for a long time.
Yeah, so they've just had so many good players. So Wantirna South doing everything right. And look, Surrey Park, they'll learn from that, but it's all about Wantirna South in terms of yesterday for me.
And the ground suits them as well. I mean, that Walker Park, they've got a great history, Wanty South on Walker Park as well. So, look, it's going to be a fantastic game the next week, isn't it?
It is, and the build-up is, and I think we have got the two best sides on the year. I mean, we saw them play late in the year, and Templestowe got hold of them early in that game, that midfield, with that inside run. So it's going to be really important, inside versus outside, the way that Wantirna South play and transition. So a real corridor team in big bodies like Fogarty, Mariani, etc., going up against the Wantirna South team, and then you've got the Templestowe key forwards, guys like Cooper and that. So it promises to be a wonderful grand final, which we'll talk about throughout the course of the week.
And we won't delve into this game too much, but yesterday was a fantastic spectacle. Scoresby 9-16-70 held off a fast finishing Donvale 10-8-68. Once again, gentlemen, for Donvale it's heartache, and but for Scoresby, it's a double promotion for them in the last 2 years. And Craig McKenzie, I've got to say, has done a fantastic job with that club.
He has, Otis, hasn't he?
He's fantastic. He spends a lot of time reviewing footage, a lot of time, studying the opposition. I reckon his pulse might have gone up a little bit in the last couple of minutes with a very fast finishing, particularly when Big Murph's almost taken that mark down in the pocket, and on the left foot, we just might have been a totally different sort of finish to the game. But look, they deserve to win the game. Scores. We had a lot of scoring shots. Had a lot of opportunity.
2-9 in the first quarter.
Had a lot of opportunity to put them away. They played fantastic as a group all day. So look, definitely the better team for the day. Unfortunately, as I said, heartbreak for Donvale. Hopefully they can pick themselves up again. It's going to take a lot of work to pick up.
How hard is that league mentally?
Thankfully, I haven't had to experience that in footy, Brush, but I've played 4 cricket grannies in a row, so I lost 3, and have thought about tossing the towel in. Yeah, absolutely. So a bit of soul searching, but
there's a tweak. They're going to need to change something to get that next step, to get that ultimate prize, because they've been there now, 3 times and fallen short. Obviously got the didn't get the promotion when they won, so they've lost a couple of close grand finals. So now they've got to search for something that's going to get them to that next level. But Scoresby did
a couple more outside. I think they need a couple more outside non-Donvale people. So if you look at the guys that Scoresby brought in, your trainers, your Camilleries and stuff like that, higher division guys that have been there and done it. That's the roadmap to bring in some more experienced campaigners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think with Scoresby, the way that they played yesterday, their intercepting game, their transition, their ball movement, that was just far superior. And on the turnover game, they were wanting Donvale, and that's the reason why, in the end, they had to do it all, tried to do it late, and they weren't able to get over the line.
2 games to quickly preview this afternoon. It's first semi-final day at Jubilee Park. They switched from Division 3 mode, Spider, to Premier Division mode. A big clash here for East Ringwood and Roval. And I've just had notice from Ray Baird saying that the game at Jubilee won't start till 3:05 because of injury. So it's going to be a late finish there. But East Ringwood are taking on Roval. Roval have been the nemesis of East Ringwood this year so far, Spider. Can they make it 3 times in a row?
Well, they can. Roval definitely can win this game, and I do have them as slight favourites. Just the way that because their form is stacking up like that. There has been concerns about what East Ringwood have been doing. Their winning form. They've only won 1 out of their last 5 games. The finals record in recent times hasn't been great. They're under pressure. This is a pressure game moment for East Ringwood, and I think that they can get over the line, East Ringwood, if they play to their absolute capability. But they need to get good looks at goal. They can't be kicking inaccurate. They need to get better looks than what they've been getting. So it's going to come down to the midfield supply odors with guys like Bello, Tovey, who's a real key player. There's some question marks on the level of fitness him going into this game.
There's a fair few blokes that are injured and underdone East Ringwood, is my understanding.
Yeah, that's where I'm concerned about them. So that's why I am going for Roval. I just think they might be, I think speed might get them. They just look a bit broken at the moment, East Ringwood, the way they play. Defend strongly. Tweedy and Delaney will play well, no doubt. But it's just going to be whether their forwards can deliver.
Yeah, Yeah, look, I've tipped Roval. I've tipped East Ringwood. I can't dismiss their early season form. I actually don't know, Lee. With Ben Osborne announcing that he was leaving at the club, I think around round 10 or 11, I don't know whether it actually destabilised the club a little bit, because me personally, I would have just gone to the exec and said,
Let's keep it on the down low.
And not mention it to the players, because I don't know whether it's affected them, but I don't think their form is definitely not, since they got beaten by Roval the first time, their form has definitely dipped, and a lot of it I think has come down to trying to mentally keep up, but also I think some of the injuries
played a part as well.
Yeah.
I think the defences have really worked on East Ringwood's forward setup too.
Yeah.
They're not getting the looks that they were at the start of the year. East Ringwood kicking big scores, but just since in the back half of the year, they've been squeezed a lot. We saw it when they played teams like Ball, and we see them when they played teams like Noble Park. The better defenders and Blackburn, etc., they were really squeezing them, and that's why they've been kicking so many big bags of inaccurate scores, like 9-16, 8-14, 7-15. It's been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. They just haven't had those weeks where they've hit the scoreboard.
It's an interesting situation, isn't it? You've got the football department gearing up for a finals campaign, but you've also got the part of the football department gearing up for a selection process to get the next coach. So it would play a part, absolutely. Has to.
Yeah. Well, in the end, I'm sticking with East Ringwood's body.
I'll go with Roval.
What about you, Otis?
I'm going to go Roval, just from what I've heard of the injuries the other week. I bumped into somebody, so we'll go with Roval.
I think Roval a bit more physical, but I just think Roval got still a little bit more left in the tank. Yep.
There's another side that you've got intimate knowledge of, and having played with them for many years, it's a First Division preliminary final clash this afternoon between South Belgrave, and the giant killers so far in this final series is North Ringwood. They've become a bit of a juggernaut heading into this game.
Absolutely. Look, I watched the footage of the North Ringwood Baronia game, which was obviously the match of the day, and they've got some pace on the ball, the young North Ringwood guys.
Yep.
Well coached by a guy that I grew up with as well, Matty Price.
Yeah.
So, look, that's why you get the double chance. A lot of things don't go right. Credit where credit's due. Park Orchard's played extremely well to come from 30 points down and get control of the game, and obviously put them to the sword also at the end of the game. So that's the beauty of the double chance. Once again, we'll see how that plays out today. I'm extremely confident that they can get the job done today. Obviously a fantastic playing list. A lot of guys that were well below their capabilities last week, and I expect those guys to stand up today and get them a shot into the grand final again, hopefully.
Yeah, I think South Belgrave win this game, Brash, just because I think it's going to be harder for North Ringwood to close down the inside work of South Belgrave, because if North Ringwood do cough that ball up and turn it over, they will pay on the scoreboard from turnover. I just thought last week Park Orchards were brilliant on the outside, and they just eliminated South Belgrave's ball use on the inside. Not sure that North Ringwood are going to be able to do that, but for long periods in the game, I think there'll be times in the game they'll have some momentum, but I just think a little bit of experience is going to step up late in the game, and I think South Belgrave might find themselves a spot in the grand final, but they are under pressure. The pressure is all on South Belgrave. A couple of injuries. We know Luke Dunstan out of the side this week, Simonson as well. So the reliance on a couple of players to step up is needed. So it'll need to be a collective effort to get over this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, South Belgrave for mine. I think they'll get the job done this afternoon. Well, Lee and Spider, thank you very much for joining me on pre-match. Lee, you'll be joining me again at halftime, head-to-head, when we go through the machinations of what happened in the first half. But for now, thank you. And,
no problems, Brash.
Thank you for everyone listening to pre-match. And as the preparations now start to begin, we're going to take our break and assemble the call team. It's the big Division 4 grand final here at East Ringwood Recreation Reserve this afternoon. It's between Churnside Park and Whitehorse, and it's coming to you live on Radio Eastern 98.1 and streaming all around the world on Facebook and YouTube.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her two young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome to Grand Final Day in Division 4 at East Ringwood Reserve between Churnside Park and Whitehorse Pioneers. The Panthers, Churnside Park, will be the favourites, but the conditions prevailing now has definitely evened up any potential of a blowout, in my opinion, because there's a wind going to the Mount Dandenong Road end and to the pocket. Hello from Gavin Casey in the commentary team, and I'll be joined, as you hear in the background, the premiers for the reserves in Division 4 is Warrandyte, and they are loving life at the moment as the players storm the podium to hold the cup aloft. Joyous moments for Warrandyte, who unfortunately lost the senior preliminary final to the Whitehorse Pioneers. Whitehorse Pioneers, unfortunately for them, loses in the reserves grand final, but we look forward to a grander match for them starting in the next 15 minutes. So again, I'll start again. Gavin Casey joined in commentary box by Chris Cordes. Thanks, Chris. How are you today?
I'm good. I was here for the under 19.5s grand final, calling that one, and it was a very interesting game as well. So credit to East Ringwood. They always put on a terrific day out here at East Ringwood Reserve, and you know there was quite a bit of wind in that under 19.5s grand final, but it actually made for quite a good game, to be fair. So it meant the footy was moving around a lot. It wasn't as much of a cagey affair with just consecutive stoppages that we've seen in finals in previous weeks. So I'm really excited to get into this one. Hopefully the rain stays off. I know there's quite a bit of rain during that reserves match, but I think the rain stays off and it's just the wind. It's more than doable, and I think we'll be in for a good game of footy today. Yeah, amazingly, it was 20 degrees when I woke up this morning at 9 o'clock, and I didn't check the weather forecast, and when it started raining and the wind is now getting up as the main factor for today's game, it's an interesting dynamic for this Division 4 Grand Final ahead of us. And in special comments, we will be joined by Scott Hardy. Scott, welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks, Gav. It's nice to have the call-up for Grand Final Day. It's been a little bit vast from my appearances this year, mainly been down on the boundary. So I was hoping that being up here I wouldn't get rained on, but I saw before the rain was coming in sideways and it was still wetter probably up here than it was down on the boundary, because at least you get an umbrella down on the boundary. So, look, it should be an interesting game. It probably, like you said, it evens up that contest a little bit more if that rain does come into play. The wind will cause some sort of havoc as it's blowing every which way, and our papers are going everywhere. But I'm looking forward to calling alongside you both.
So Whitehorse Pioneers were first on the park, and here comes Churnside Park onto the arena. Favourites today, but as we know, grand finals don't always go to a script as predicted by anyone in the media team or the fans. It's going to be a great day here at East Ringwood Reserve. Blake Tennant, who did the great emceeing there of the Reserve's medal presentation, he'll be joining us in special comments for the game ahead. And on the boundary, we've got two fine gentlemen who won't be ready yet. If they're wearing a hat, it's probably being blown off at the moment, because I can hear it through the effects mic. It's getting up. Interesting conditions. We've got to find the cameramen. I'm always worried for them in these conditions, but apparently they are all ready with LK LM media team, and it should be a good broadcast from you guys.
Hopefully so. We had the rain earlier, so this one should be good, a lot better for us. The wind's still coming though, and it's gale force.
Yeah, you can.
So we can't give them umbrellas because they will end up in Jubilee.
Yeah, it might get in the way of the ball flying around. Gents, I might, as Blake joins us, he hasn't got a headset on yet, but the conditions, the fact that the wind is blowing towards us in the main pavilion area, we're actually high up on in the grandstand on a balcony here, so it's perfect viewing spots. But the fact is, I think the ball's going to be blowing towards us a lot.
Yeah, most definitely, Gavin, and that's and you can sense in the mic at the moment and around us. It's obviously going to take a little bit for players just to get used to those conditions as well.
Well, in the under 19.5s grand final, like we said, we did have this wind. We did have it blowing right at us to the grandstand like it is now. But I think the main thing it kind of affected was really just play on this near side boundary line. When it was inside the forward 50s, obviously shots a go you had to account a bit for. It did make the right foot shot on the tight angle a lot easier because you could aim it left and the wind would drift it back to the right. But it was really just the high dumping kicks down the sideline, especially on this near side grandstand side, were a lot more difficult to control. And that's something that we have seen Whitehorse utilise quite a bit, is flying off half back with the likes of Tom Dunn with the left foot. You know, if he is kicking down this side, it's very easy for the wind to just blow the ball over the boundary line.
Well, I was watching a kick around Cannon was doing a short pass into Dirksen on the lead, and even though it didn't get higher than his knees, the ball actually drifted off the line 2 metres away from the lead. So if the low kicks are getting blown off course, I am predicting that you've got to get used to the conditions as quick as possible, and that might be difficult.
Yeah, it will, and that may even up that contest.
Blake, you are at ground level, so you got first-hand knowledge. What is ground level like?
Oh, well, if my papers are moving a lot, then I guess that the wind is pretty heavy down there at East Ringwood. It's the wind is heavy. You can hear it on the effects mic. You can hear it everywhere. So the wind's going to be doing. I don't know if it's going to favour both ends of the ground. It's hard to tell, obviously, with the wind how it is at this stage. But
you get the feeling right to screen.
Yeah, I would say so. If I was
being Mount Daniel Road end is where it's coming.
So you reckon?
Towards.
You reckon if Chaz Clevant or Jason Fabris, if they win the toss today, you reckon they'll go to the right? You reckon?
I think it's a smart play to always kick with the wind, because you never know if conditions die and change on you, and you lose the second chance. So I think I know that's the odd occasion Richmond did it in a final once.
And we don't talk about that. But anyway, you see, how I see it is, obviously you want to get the advantage with the wind, but, you want to be kicking to the wind in the last quarter. So I could see kind of, going against it, for the last quarter, just in case it does happen. So
well, it's always nerves. Let's get into talking away from the weather conditions, because they're pretty obvious actually. Let's talk about the players and the clubs, because it's their big moment, it's their big day, especially for Churnside Park. It's been 15, 16 years since their last premiership.
09 was their last one, so they'll be up and about. They were as well. I popped down on the Tuesday to do some content stuff with a few of the other boys as well, and the feeling that Churnside, they're ready. It's taken them a long time, and Justin Figuerilli said it really well today, just saying they've had one flag in 47 years, and that's a long time. If you look at it, through the past history as well, there's some clubs that might not even have a senior premiership. So it's always hard. And the thing is as well, you just don't know when you're going to be there next. That's just how I feel.
And I think with Churnside, though, like I've been really bullish on Churnside. Over probably the last sort of 3 years, I felt that they've competed really well and have deserved to play in a grand final and to go up a division. I think they've got enough sort of skill on the park. It's obviously, this is their time, though. Like you said, that window can only stay open for a certain period. Obviously, down in Div 4, they're looking forward to that move up. I'm very, very... I sort of feel like, if this doesn't come their way, they'll be bitterly disappointed by missed opportunities, not just in this year, but over the past as well.
And just watch Horvath kicking for goal for Whitehorse Pioneers. Only a slight drift on his kick, but he's a matchup for Churnside. They've had the better of him. And the pre-match talk with Lee Odermatt and Matt Lee and Brash is how the matchup against Horvath. He hasn't kicked a lot of goals against Churnside Park, so I think they're looking for him to be potential match winner if he can get on the board.
Sam Downey was going for that matchup, so that's one to watch as well. Obviously, sort of Churnside have had that break, that little rest as well. So whether that plays a part in legs and sort of getting back into footy brain, but look, it's well within sort of Whitehorse's control as well. They're playing good enough footy through the finals, and looking forward to it.
So photos are being taken for grand final day. 6 or 7 with, on the knee down.
Fancy face of the umpiring today, Dean O'Neill. Of course, he works at the league, so he'll definitely get a few mentions today, I reckon.
Yeah, well, Whitehorse have been very patient. They obviously lost the toss. They're second with the photo. They were ready to go. So we're just about to have the anthems, and we'll stop talking for that because it's a special moment in football. You prepare all year for this moment. The nerves will tingling. They're probably going through the arms and all the way through the body. It's an exciting moment, and for the families and the club involved, this is what you play for. Grand final day. Division 4, Churnside Park versus Whitehorse Pioneers. When I hear the music, we'll be ready to go.
On behalf of the Eastern Football Netball League, welcome to East Ringwood Reserve for the Eastland 2025 Division 4 Senior Grand Final between Churnside Park and Whitehorse. Congratulations and best of luck to both competing sides in today's decider. The officiating umpires for today's match are Jesse Haywood, Dean O'Neill and Bailey O'Neill. On boundary, Judd Walhout, Luke Coford, Nicholas Byrne and Cooper Dawson. In goal, Darryl Larder and William Caldwell. The emergency, Rory Conlon. I will now ask all to be upstanding with the players and umpires for the Australian National Anthem. May the best team win.
And here we go for Grand Final Day, Division 4 of the EFNL, Churnside Park versus Whitehorse Pioneers. They're just about ready for Grand Final for 2025. Good luck to both sides. It's going to be a tense, invigorating first 10 minutes. They'll be trying to find their way in this game. Conditions have settled down even in the last 5 minutes of talking about them. It's a bit more still, so hopefully this is a great sign that we have a great contest. Gavin Casey, Chris Cordus, Scott Hardy and Blake Tennant in commentary team. Boys, we'll probably go through our tips real quick before we go to the boundary riders. Blake, start with you.
Yeah, no, I think I've gone with Churnside today. They've been a benchmark team all season round, just with the 2 losses today. So it's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go. But I think the Churnside to win this one.
Like I said, Gav, I've backed Churnside over the last few years, so it'd be silly not to back them again. I think they get the win today by 24 points.
Yeah, look, I quite like this Whitehorse side. I think they've been a bit of a sneaky pick throughout the finals and throughout the regular season as well, but I've gone Churnside by 31 points.
Yeah, well, there's always an upset. In 5 grand finals, is this the day? I'm just going to say that. I do expect the favourite wins, but is today the upset? If we've got our boundary riders ready, that is the siren for the players to get to the middle of East Ringwood Reserve. If we've got the boundary riders ready.
See Jared down there.
Hello.
Jared Beatland, take it away, mate.
Thank you very much, Gav. Brilliant to be down here for yet another grand final at East Ringwood Reserve. The conditions are very blustery. It had rained during the Reserves grand final as well, so the ground is very soft. It'll be interesting to see whether or not that affects the play. In terms of tips, I'm going to have to go with Churnside for this one. Unfortunately for Whitehorse, it might be back-to-back defeats in Div 4 grand finals, and I think the Panthers will get up by about 5 or 6 goals.
And I see Oscar's finally got a jacket down there, or is Oscar a bit warmer?
You can't hear anything actually, so...
All right, we might come back to him. At least he's not as cold down there as it was quite cold here before, but we've still got a bit of a win, but it won't stop the footy from coming on here at East Ringwood Reserve in our Division 4 Senior Men's Grand Final. We have first, second. It's what we wanted, the 2 biggest teams on the biggest stage of them all. And as the siren sounds and the ball is held aloft, we are underway as the Rucks go at it. It was Haney with the first touch. Now it's Whitehorse Pioneers with the first win out of the centre clearance. A lot of punching going on. No one yet to take clear possession of the footy. Bursting away. Left foot. First to the granny, and it's just pulled wide as the goal umpire goes diving down to get a better view of it. And gee, what a chance to start from Patrick Carroll.
Yeah, the goal umpire fell over. He's that rush to try to follow the ball.
Just a strong start. Great clearance there. Whitehorse look promising at this stage. I know it's early start of the game. The early nerves and the raxiness of Churnside could be on.
Kick out by Cannon. Short finds his teammate out of side. Interesting decision to take it out of side. It's bold because the wind's going into our faces here. And there's the turnover mark. So Whitehorse will load up again in the corridor. Players lining up for it. Parsons looking short pass. Haining can't get down to ground level. So Churnside Park do clear their defence for the first time, but over the ball being knocked over was Connell. Churnside Park do the turnover, hand pass backwards was too loping for King, so King has to go again, does well, he's dodging everyone at the moment, he goes inboard, smothered, probably unintentionally Nelson, he was just trying to get there for the tackle, got the smother in instead. Now the ball's being held up and Whitehorse doing all the attacking early, but conditions not helping the kickers, and at ground level the nerves won't be helping the players. Rucks go at it. Haining just been beaten by the tap by Reynolds, the athletic Reynolds. Got over the top, but Parsons in involved. He got it back to Nelson. Nelson takes on the tackler, gets the kick towards Haining. Goes back to the point kicker, Carroll. He's been pounced on as soon as he got onto the ball on the wing. So he's been wrapped up. One solitary score to Carroll, just missed the first opportunity in this 2025 Division 4 Grand Final. Haining, big body in position, won the tap. It's bobbling around. McDougall thought he had an opportunity to go forward, but Churnside get the free kick. King was hoping he'd be man on the spot to run with it, but not to be.
One thing as well, not just the kicks, Gav, it's the handballs. I think that's going to take a little bit just to get used to as well. Fine to just kick the ball and get it as far, but just to land that short handball, we've seen a few miss their targets.
Well, we've seen in the past games already today, it's taken teams about a quarter and a half to get accustomed to the wind. Both sides will be hoping that they can get used to it a bit quicker than the other can at the moment, as we have a mark on centre wing. Footy's in the hands of Callum Harper. He'll just drill a kick, looking for a teammate. It fell short though, through the hands of Mitchell Skeen. Around it to his Ficarelli. No real winner of the footy just yet. Skeen turns tackler this time. We'll have a ball up. So we're in the Panthers forward half here. Still about 65, 70 metres out from their goals, however. As Haining will go at it in the ruck. They'll cancel each other out this time. Carroll couldn't quite pick it up. Bursting away with the footy in hands is Dylan Corsi. Churnside Park will go backwards to go forwards. King's kick is well measured into the centre. Here's Cunnin. He looks back into the corridor. Mark taken by Burt. Burt wider once more. Good deliberate movement of the footy so far from the Panthers. They find themselves about 55 out and will look for a forward 45 entry. They do so. Couple leading up options. One of them is that man in Jake Corsi. Couldn't take it. Footy stayed on the ground. No real winner of it yet. No one able to pick it up. Now they get it up in the hands of Camion. Camion Goldwoods. Goalkeeper on the line though. Innocent mark taken by Edward Sim. And a few afters there. Just a healthy how you doing. But that'll be 25 metres. Few more words exchanged, just I'm sure trying to figure out what the plans are for post-game. But the footy's in the hands of Edward Sim, that won't change. Sim overcooked his kick, but it was well read by his teammate. A bit of a chance for the Pioneers to go quickly now. Young out the back, used his body well, gets a handball off in the hands now of his teammate. Kicks Goldwoods at goal and it's through! Number 22 in Sam Carroll opens the scoring for the day. And what a move by the Pioneers, going from back 45 to front 45 in the blink of an eye. Sam Carroll with your opener in the title decider.
Yeah, just an undisciplined act there from Churnside. You know, it's just not needed what happened in the goal square. You just don't need that on grand final day. It's a coach killer sort of thing, and a 25-metre free kick cost that one. And how good Sam Carroll, the nurse from Whitehorse, are lifting more at the moment than Churnside.
We'll go boundary side of Jared Beanland.
So I've spotted some matchups in Churnside's forward line. I'll let you play, go the call though.
The clearance won by Churnside Park, so the Panthers, though, they couldn't get the next kick. Taking on the tackles, maybe too much so, was Nelson, and he didn't see Clevant come back at him, and Josh Clevant drops the ball thinking that wasn't handed to him properly, but he did win a good free kick there. From 70, loads up a long ball, Dirksen in good position, went over his head, the punch is huge from the middle of the forward 45. He's knocked at 30 as said, and it's just bounced in front of the boundary line. We'll get the boundary thrower in just because this is a score potentially coming off this for Churnside Park. Rucks go at it, Haining holds his position and he makes the other ruckman tackle him. So it will be a free kick to Haining and we'll go boundary side for some of those matchups, Jared.
Yes, so we've got Joel Dalgilly. She's trailing around Dirksen. Castledine, he's been manned up by Dunn, and the dangerous Causey, he's got Joel Savvy for company. So Connell goes to Ficcarelli as well. Sorry, Gav.
That's all right. It's in the hands of Sharp, 2 kicks away from Haney's free kick. But there is the example of the wind playing havoc with the flight of the ball. The kick was hopeful to pack 5 metres inboard from the boundary line, but it's blown right out of bounds on the full. So the kick for Churnside Park does the same. It looked like it had enough metres inside, but just when it tails off in velocity of kick, the wind takes a hold, and it's a free kick going the other way to Whitehorse. Let's see how this finishes. Close to the boundary line, late bump, that's got to be a marching orders. Sim's got to go closer to goal, you think, but the umpire said, no, that's in the play of a grand final, and Downey might have been a bit rough, but he's racing back with Horvath now. Has a short pass, good spot up, bounce Stowe, doesn't help Sharp. Kick around the corner from the defence from Churnside Park, touch finder, and they're happy with that. So if there's any more matchups, we've got time for that, Jared and Oscar.
I'm just going to say Paul Thatcher with Jacob Virtue, a bit of a mismatch. Jacob Virtue probably a little bit more pace, whereas Thatcher has the bigger body.
So Haining, back position, wrestles his way onto the ball, doesn't take it with him, he allows his teammate Carroll to get onto it, but Carroll couldn't go any further, the goal kicker Carroll. So it's a ball up on the centre wing, Haining, the big fella, what a legend of the Eastern Footy League, and his tackle was a bit ferocious though. It's a free kick against Haining. He's getting involved in everything, the playing coach, now he's hit the ground, surely the umpire won't turn it over for a free kick.
Just Churnside have been really silly at the moment. Could cost them.
The ball will stay in the hands of the Panthers. A few healthy afters, a lot of feeling in this game so far. Should make for good viewing as Jake Corsi's the target there. Again, a fist over the back of the pack sends the ball about 30 metres to the side. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Of course, they've played against each other 4 times, so they know each other out, I guess.
Yeah, there is plenty of time in 4 games worth of footy to hold a grudge, I guess, as The kick has gone high up from Trent Castledine. That'll come down with Snow and Jake Corsi couldn't quite take the mark. Bounced on Sims' back. Corsi now bumped as he kicked, and that's out of bounds on the full. So now in the hands of the goal kicker, and Sam Carroll has dropped further back to help his team. He's got Tom Dunn just off to his left, but with that wind playing a factor, it's maybe not as easy as an option as we would all normally think, as he just looked for territory. Fell in the hands of Patrick Carroll. He couldn't quite take it cleanly. Now it's with Burt. Burt goes backwards. The Panthers now electing to go forwards. They'll go long via foot. Over the back of the pack doors, hands to it. In pursuit of it now is Chaz Clevan. Clevan gets rid of one. Gets it back to Burt. He's Aaron Burt, I should say. Kick high. Wind will take it out of bounds on the full. Oh, it stayed in just about. The Pioneers defenders weren't expecting it.
So, boundary.
Sorry, go, Jared, quickly.
So the two big matchups down in Whitehorse's forward line. Sam Downey, he's the one that's got the job on Horvat, and Mac Brownfield, he's got Tom Young.
Just kick going, Liz.
This ball's 40 out from goal. Go for it, Blake.
Yeah, just what I'm saying here is just, maybe use the centre of the ground. I know Figueroa really promised that they will try to stop that use, because Whitehorse used that really well last week.
He's looking to burst away now. It's Clevant. That's Josh. Gets it into Jake Corsi. Bobbles it once, bobbles it twice off the knees. Couldn't get it. Now tackled. Just off, and he's appealing for a mark. He's clutching at straws if he wants that one to be paid, I think. So he'll have a boundary throwing just to the side of the behind post. Locked in the Panthers, forward 45 here. Rucks go out at Haney and gets a fist to it. Out the back, it's gone to James Belly. Belly steps inside, bumped off the ball. It was well applied pressure there from Kerr, and now the footy's found its way over the boundary line. So I wasn't holding the ball because he didn't elect to tackle, but it was a well-laid bump at that. So we're further out. The Pioneers just inching further and further away from their goals. Haining wins it in the ruck again. He'll be massive today. It's sent down the line, through the hands of Horvat. He couldn't quite take it cleanly. And he's then set upon by Sam Downey, out for a boundary throw-in.
Boys, just today for the grand final, we've got Premier Data doing live stats for us. Currently, Churnside leading with the disposal count 27-18. I'll get some more for you soon.
Haney looking to grab it out of the ruck, went to ground, footy spills loose, Chas Clevant's around it, couldn't quite get it, but now this one will bounce him, just punches it forward, falls in the hands of Sam Carroll. Now here around the footy is Corsi. He claims he was taken high. Chas Clevant gets it forward, bumped after he kicked it as well. Fickerelli in pursuit of the ball. Here's Edward Sim. Sim steps inside, he's got a man bearing down on him from behind. Gets the kick off low. Pioneers have a bit of space. He's Virtue, has a few options. Will stop, prop, now go forward. Forward 45, lead up option is Young. They've got 2v1. Young has a lot of work to do, he's outnumbered. The Panthers defence stands tall. They get it out to Fielding. He gets a handball off to Camion. Camion one further down the wing. They've got room to run now, do the Panthers. Sam Cunnan looks down the line. Corsi's the target. He goes through his legs, just gets past him. In pursuit of the footy, King. King, check side, Goldwoods, man under it. Couldn't quite get there, just carried over the top. So we'll have a boundary throw in again just next to the behind post.
It's going to be very difficult to kick a goal from the left side, because even if you allow for the wind, it's going to keep blowing it across the goals. So I really think for an attacking team, they want to be on this side. Haining takes it out of the ruck, eventually allows his smaller players at ground level, but the rush kick has been marked, and an intercept marked by Bally, all on his own on the 45-metre arc. With the wind potentially behind him, but pushing it left to right, it's not an easy kick. But let's see if Bally can get the first goal and even the first score on the board for the Panthers.
It's kick 4 for the year.
12 minutes into this Division 4 grand final. Panthers have done a lot of attacking, but yet to score. Long ball, he goes on to his right, but just as he would have leaned his body right, he hanged it out right, and it's never coming back with that win. Minor score. First on the board for Churnside Park, it's 1 point. They trail by a goal, 1-1. Whitehorse Pioneers, Jared Beadleman on the boundary line.
Pioneers have got Eddie Sim playing deepest forward. He's got Paul Thatcher for company, and Paul Thatcher's playing off him a little bit. You saw him in that 2-on-1 against Tom Young a couple of moments ago.
And just with the pressure, boys, Churnside 8 tackles to 2.
The ball's found its way over the boundary line. It's interesting that Sim is furthest forward now. He was having a good impact on the game behind the ball at the start. So we'll see what that matchup can bring for the Pioneers. As we're centre wing here just in front of us, we've played 12.5. Like we heard just before from Gav, it's 6 points the lead for the Whitehorse Pioneers. Going into this one as underdogs. Haining, footy fell short of him. Kicked forward by McDougall. It's smothered off the boot. That won't be a mark. Wrapped up in a tackle as turning tackler is Daniel Fielding. Will have a ball up. I'll tell you what, Andrew Haining's been a force to be reckoned with so far in this match as his opponent Reynolds can't get him this time. It's Haining winning the hit out, peeling for a free keeper, wrapped up in a tackle. McDougall gets the free kick for holding the ball. And they have some options forward of the footy if they can go quickly now.
Lucky with that. That arm was around the shoulder as well. Could have been high.
So. Yeah, Harper's unlucky there.
So McDougall now assessing options forward of the footy, just decides to take territory. It's a long kick, 2v2 underneath the footy. Great mark taken by Daniel Horvat. Horvat's got a few options to his left if he wants. Instead, he'll stop. Look forward. Young's in there as an option. It's good to see Thomas Young back out there. Last match of the round we're at. He was injured and he was the target of that kick. But the intercept mark taken before that, I believe, by Chaz Clavan. So Clavan in the back pocket now. We'll just chip one further inside. Mark taken. Pioneers are set up well here, but the Panthers will look to use the weak side, and there's plenty of numbers out there. It certainly is the weak side for the Pioneers as they'll go through the corridor now. Handball receive out to the left is found. Now inside forward 45. Jake Corsi the target. Both got fish to it. He's defended there by Savvy. Who's going to win the footy now? Corsi's in pursuit. Lays a good bit of body work around the footy again is Tom Kerr. And now it's wrapped up on the far side and we will have a ball up. So Churnside Park much more deliberate with their ball use at the moment.
They're just the switch. They're using the switch really well, Churnside here.
That's exactly right, Blake. And they're getting the numbers out on the far side and really using it to get that run like we just saw.
But sorry, keep going, Gav.
I just think it opens up the play using the outer side because the ball's always going to be blowing back into the middle.
And where Whitehorse have just been a little bit more cleaner around, where we are in the broadcast at this stage. So they're the clean side. Churnside just got better skills at the moment.
So the boundary throwing comes in. It was off hands and wrapped up again. So we'll have another ball up.
Just as well, if you're tuning in and you're wanting to know your premier as well, the game will start at 3:05 due to an injury at Jubilee Park today.
Thanks for that, Blake.
Yes.
We'll have scores from around the ground, I'm sure we'll get there. Raise the man on the ground.
There was another update to that. 2:41 it will start.
Oh, there you go. I've just, thanks, Lee.
Look at that. We've got it even quicker for all of you listeners out there who just can't wait.
It's like a train departure
for a bit of Premier Division footy as we've got a great spectacle out here in the Division 4 Senior Grand Final. Haining out of the ruck again. Here's Patrick Carroll. Gets handball off, turns it over though. Just looking for distance on the kick to Churnside Park. It's going to hit the deck just in front of King. Wouldn't quite fall for him. King got clattered in the air by a teammate. A bit of friendly fire. Now it's Dirksen. Had the footy. Had to turn to a handball. Just hoofing it out up the corridor. Here's Virtue. If he can get to the footy off the cricket pitch, we'll have a bit of run here. The Pioneers go through the middle. They've got an option up there in Young. Young 1v2. Clunks it. Did he come down with it? Not quite. Young just trying to discard of his defender, and now Churnside can work it out through Harper. Uses the near side, plenty of bodies around it. Ficcarelli is the one outnumbered there. Here's Tom Dunn on that trusty left foot. He rarely misses a kick, this kid, when he's on his left. Finds the teammate in Pat Carroll. Dunn's an option again. We'll look for him. Instead, hooks further forward. Sim got body work from behind. It's a free kick. Is advantage paid? No, gee. Anthony Sharp certainly thought about it a few times. But it's in the hands of Edward Sim. So here's Sim, looking for territory.
Oi.
Gee, it almost looked like he would carry the distance. Did in the Blake, and in front is Thomas Young. We said before they're a much better side when he's out there in the forward line. Missed a few games in the middle part of this season, but now he's back.
Just have a look at the big strong Dukes there. He's just great service and delivery, and big Tom Young, this is one of the X factors or wild cards you call, and except for a big day if you could kick this one.
So here's Young. You'd say about a 55 to 60 degree angle from the centre line.
Get a good look at this.
The kick will come 25 to 30 out. Young to push it out to a 12-point margin to get the Pioneers' second straight of the first term. Thomas Young starts right, comes back, didn't come back enough, might have just gone over the post, and it's a behind.
Just as well, fast start for North Ringwood, 4-2-26 to South Belgrave, 1-4-10.
One start that is in Whitehorse's favour, which is a disadvantage for Churnside. The hit out's 14-1. 14-1.
Been an absolute beast today.
They're going to have to fix that.
Kick out goes long to Downey. He gets underneath it. He gets a hand to it and allows Churnside to probably get some numbers around the fall of the ball. Sweeping hand pass puts the player under a heap of pressure. Tackle taken on. Whitehorse getting numbers now to the outer side. and they're tackling well. Zenonaro wraps up his opponent, and it'll be a ball up 60 metres from Whitehorse Pioneers goals. I was really impressed. Tom Young, once he was right of his opponent, the ball's always going to flow to him. So he was smart there. Here's another inside 45 for the Pioneers. Underneath it was Carroll. Couldn't take the mark. Defence trying to hold up. Harper throwing against. And the tackle just took the hand pass away from Harper. And the throw goes all the way to Virtue, who's now found a short pass leading option. Horvath can't get onto the end of it. Downey there trying to take on some opponents. They're hurriedly clearing. That's going all the way out. It won't go out in the full just because the wind holds it up. Bouncing ball for Parsons. Had to take on a tackler, and he's been penalised for holding the ball.
Churnside have a number of spares behind the ball as well in Whitehorse's forward line. They've just sort of missed that match-up, and Paul Thatcher probably have to stick a little bit closer still to him.
Churnside Park very good at getting out of it, but sometimes they're sloppy with their possession. So they love getting numbers and running as a pack, but not always efficient with the kicking. Hand pass chopped off by Fabris. They're now a smothered ball. Whitehorse good on the turnover now. Hand pass backwards to McDougall, going out wide. Got a good position here through Young. Young too far out to score. At least 2 kicks away. He'll pass it along the boundary. It'll stay in because of the wind advantage, and that is a nice hit-up pass. They go again. You've got men free. Had plenty of numbers, and the one underneath it is Kerr. So Kerr takes the mark 40 metres out, right flank.
Those spares for Churnside probably just sitting too far back, Blake.
Yeah, and I feel, they've been very cleaner as well, Whitehorse. So this the early start, the nerves, of course. Whitehorse, they were here last year, so Churnside first grand final since 2009. So interesting start here.
Underdogs coming into this game, but if this goes through, it'll be a big advantage early. It's high, it's up, too high, and the wind takes hold, and it's a miss to the left. Minor score, Whitehorse Pioneers 1-3-9, leading by 8 over Churnside Park. We're into time on first quarter. Let's get some comment from the boundary.
24 kilometre an hour north-northeasterly wind down here, which could contribute to some of the kicking in this game.
So there's the number there, 24 Ks. Thank you for that, Oscar.
Didn't have that on the Premier Data Stats.
So Jade Bunn.
Stepping inside from the kick in, smooth operator there, finds Mitch Skeen. Skeen will assess his options now, will onto the right boot. Look to this near side wing, it's a 2v2 contest. And in around it is Horvath, he's dropped a bit deeper. Great tackle there, laid on King. And he was letting him go nowhere. And he lets him know about it as well.
Yeah,
and the kick out means that Horvath gets a free kick.
Just a kick there, kicked him off ball.
So they use the corridor now. Mark taken by Tom Kerr. Kerr, he has a free man on the edge of 45. Didn't see him. Goes deeper. There's a man at the back. Couldn't quite get it to him. Shepherd applied. Still a lot of work to do here. Gets it to Sharp. Sharp, Goldwoods. It'll drift across the face. And as a matter of fact, will it go out? No, not quite. It's kept in by Paul Thatcher. Thatcher looking to wheel and deal, but he kicked it to 2 purple jerseys. One of them in there with a ball in hand is Caleb Parsons. Got it back. McDougall from 50, and it's across the face. So as much pressure as the Pioneers are applying, all they have to show for it is 1 goals 4.
Just the nerves, you reckon, Scotty, that's getting ahead of Churnside Park. When have we seen a real good look from Churnside? They're just bombing it into their forward 50s. Do you feel that way too, boys?
I just make an insight on the wind for Whitehorse Pioneers. Funny from the right side, there's an open field. It's going across field, but Young's kick into the trees might have had from the left side, might have held up a bit.
So
now
high kick onto the wing. Horvath sitting under it. Takes the mark, will now look to go to the edge of 45, but he misses his target and the intercept mark's taken.
So the short kick finds a teammate in Camion. Haven't seen much of him yet. One of the top ringmen of the league. Looks inboard, probably dangerous to do so, so goes down the wing. Low kick, Reynolds underneath and 2 grabs at it. Smart play. He had the advantage over his opponent and he pushed off Zenaro and took the mark at the second attempt. Reynolds, he's going inboard. Always dangerous if you don't be precise. Turnover balls in the hands of Carroll. Carroll's got 1v2, doesn't get to the 1. The knockdown by the defence gets it in the middle. Now it's a dangerous turnover for Churnside through King. Sam King, long ball, bouncing to Ficarelli. Always dangerous. Look left, went right. Now from 45, loads it up! Misses to the left. That was big. The fans line the goals were nearly going with me.
That's a Ficarelli moment early.
And I just thought the wind would help him. It didn't. didn't enough anyway. Minor score for Churnside Park, 2 points, trailing Whitehorse 1-4-10.
For the domination that sort of Whitehorse has had, it's obviously well within score limits still for Churnside, so they'll take that.
Well, they've left the door open and they're almost inviting Churnside Park to come back into this game in a later stage here as finally the Panthers have a bit of territory to work with.
We haven't really had a good look, have we, at the Panthers, when they get it inside their forward 50, and I'm really happy with the Whitehorse defensive arc at the moment here.
A long throw in, Haining wins the hit out once again. You'll hear that a fair few times today. Looking to bring it out now, well applied tackle, they'll have a ball up. So a 60 out from the Churnside Park uprights. About 55 metres out from the 70-goal man in Jake Corsi as the ball up going to ground was proud. He couldn't quite bring it out himself. They're looking to work it themselves, the Panthers. Good tackle laid there.
One thing from that, Blake, though, with the stats, it's actually Whitehorse 12 inside 50s to Churnside 9, but probably Churnside just had that just inside 50, whereas Whitehorse gone much deeper.
Yeah.
So the footy spilled out, a lot of pressure applied. Sim there has caught his opponent high. So the footy's in the hands of Mac Brownfield. Brownfield has a chance to just go back with throw it on the left boot, just centre it about 20 out. Leading up is Dirksen. Well in front of it was Ward. He couldn't quite grab the mark himself, probably should have taken it.
Boundary.
But we'll have a ball up as you go boundary side of Jared Beanland.
Yeah, Ward's playing as the loose man behind the ball. He's trading that role with Tom Dunn, the other role being playing on Thicko.
So the footy's gone up as Young moved out of the ruck on that occasion. Jake Corsi just let the footy go. Ficcarelli around it now. Was he taken high? Umpire agrees. Giving a bit of afters as well from McDougall. Should be careful not to give away 25. Tom Dunn just nutmegs
That should have been 25 there.
Yeah.
Well, Ficcarelli wasn't quite looking at him, but I do understand where we're coming from.
I reckon.
Tom Dunn just floating as a spare now in the pocket. Ficcarelli, the man on the mark's about 48 out. So he will just look to send this goal. It starts right, stays right, will fall short. Corsi was under it. Over the boundary line for a boundary throw. And another good thing from the Pioneers defence, I think they've just done well to unsettle Jake Corsi. As good as a player as he is, sometimes you can give plays like that a bit too much respect, let him get comfortable. There's always someone giving him a bit of a nudge or a bit of a shoulder or an elbow or something like this in the contest just to keep him off his line as the footy drops. There's plenty of players falling around and we'll have a ball up 25 metres out from the Churnside Park uprights. Still Whitehorse by 8 as we're 25 and a half gone. Young was trying to do the ruck work, couldn't get a clear hit out. Wrapped up again. So you'd think if any team's going to score from this point onwards in the first term, it's going to be Churnside Park. Whitehorse need a repel. Josh Clavant gives it off. Camion, left foot snap. It's high, and it's wide out of bounds on the full. So a chance for the Pioneers just to reset.
Sorry, I was going to say you almost need to aim for far over to that left post for it to bend back to the right.
It's not easy to kick goals, is it?
No.
It's interesting here. Typically we'd see Tom Dunn get this one on the left boot, just hoof it down the line, but instead they elect for a right footer in this occasion, maybe to account for that wind. Horvat's out the back of the pack, couldn't quite take it cleanly. It's off feet. Ground ball to be won here and just usher it over the boundary line. Callum Harper was more than happy to see it out.
Scott, if you're on the left side, it's going to push it across the face. Yeah. And it's too hard to kick into the wind when you're coming from the right pocket.
Yeah, it's such a difficult pocket down there. The sides going that way are going to struggle.
But even on the other side, well, there's the wind taking the ball to the goals at about down on road end. The ruckman, it's hit heads. There's been Falcons. We've got Panthers versus the Pioneers, though. Grand final, quarter time here in the Division 4 2025 Grand Final. Churnside Park been number one for all year. Haven't kicked a goal in the first term. They're 2 points. Whitehorse Pioneers 1-4-10. Goal kicker was Sam Carroll. 10 plays 2. The Pioneers leading at quarter time in the grand final. Keep tuned in for quarter 2. Not far away.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? Broke a finger high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy to use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
It's grand final day in Division 4 on the EFNL game day. Fantastic Sunday to watch Division 4 come to a thrilling climax. Churnside Park favourites coming in because they were the top team all year. But with these wind conditions, they weren't able to get a goal. 2 points, trailing Whitehorse Pioneers 1-4-10. It's quarter time. Churnside, huge supporter base around that huddle. They've already disjoined, and we'll go to Jared Beadland.
I've got Simon here, assistant coach for Churnside Park. Ficko's address, pretty impassioned there. He wanted the boys to spread a little bit more from stoppage.
Yeah, look, the pressure at the start, we expected that. This wind isn't helping at all, but we're a little bit clumsy at our feet, and they've come out a little bit harder than they normally would, which is expected in this sort of final. So I think the passion's there at any quarter we get into, so we're looking to lift it a little bit more now too.
Absolutely, and to account for the wind this quarter, since you're kicking a different direction?
We've got to use it a little bit wiser than we did that quarter. We were going and bombing it too much, giving Jake not much of an opportunity, and they were pushing back a number of players as well. So we'll look to probably do a little bit shorter into the wind. As I said, it just cuts things up for us, and it's not good for them, but it's not good for us, so we'll just move it out.
Absolutely. Cheers, Simon. Good luck for the game.
Thank you for that, Jared. As we heard there from the Churnside Park dugout, as Whitehorse are starting to make their way out.
Just for grand final Premier data covering our stats live here. So as you can see, we've got 48 kicks to 43. Quite even in marks, handballs. The inside 50s, like we spoke about, the tackling pressure on both sides, 15 for Churnside, 11 for Whitehorse. I think the big one for me though is that hit out. It's not on the screen. Hit outs at the moment 16-5. Obviously using it well in that ruck contest, but it's probably more so how can they use it from their mids to get that advantage and use that. It's a big advantage having that.
Yeah, it's all about the first use. It's a very good point, and it's a massive win for the Whitehorse defence so far in that first term. They're ranked 6th for points against this season, but coming up against the first-ranked offence to keep them scoreless, although it is a very low-scoring game, it's a massive win, and they've stood up well so far. The question is, however, with 1 quarter in the books, can they do it for another 3 and give their side the best chance of success?
Just going to take a while. We can see just hurting them through the one single gate.
So that is the siren. We're about to get underway for the second term. We'll get Oscar's view of, and he was listening into Whitehorse Pioneers, so when he's ready, we'll get him to come in, but we might wait half a minute. Has a great advantage that we're on YouTube and Facebook, and that we've got live stats coming up on the screen, and Oscar at boundary side for the Whitehorse Pioneers perspective.
Not too much from Andrew Haining there in the huddle. He's quite happy with everything. He knows Churnside's going to come out nice and hard in this second quarter. He does want his players to use the switch and use that outer side of the ground to enter the forward 50 and make sure they take their chances on goal.
Thanks for that, Oscar. We're 1 down with 3 to go here as the free kick is going the way of Dermot Reynolds. Reynolds just gives a handball receive off to a teammate in belly, bumped after he kicked it. Wind will take the footy away from Ficcarelli. Plenty of players in pursuit now, and it will just make its way over the boundary line and out for a boundary throw-in. Just inside the forward pocket of the Panthers. Churnside Park still looking to open their account on the goal tally for today. As the boundary throw-in will come in now, and the Rucks take their position. It's Haining winning it again. Looking to bring it out, though. They couldn't quite do so. Ficcarelli gives it back to Belly. They go backwards to go forwards. They got a target in there. Footy just wouldn't quite travel enough. Tom Dunn's around the ball now. Picking it up. Handball out. Chase Clevan. Left foot. And it's drifted out for a behind. So first scoreboard impact of the second term is a minor score. Betting Bank scoreboard now reads Churnside Park 0-3-3. Whitehorse Pioneers 1-4-10. It's the Pioneers by 7.
Difficult kick for a left footer facing away from goals to bend it back, and with the wind in his face, it was a hard kick to execute. Minor score, Churnside Park 3 points, trailing by 7. Whitehorse Pioneers 1-4-10. The ball's finally got back from over the fence, and it's gone towards Causey. Jake Causey, fortunately for the Panthers, hasn't had too many touches, so the fact that he's giving it back to the fullback is not what the Panthers supporters are looking for. But Dunn walks his way out of the back goal square, kicks it long, loping his way there with Sim. Couldn't take out a stretch mark, so it's going to be a turnover on the outer side for Churnside Park. Clevant, hand pass forward, trying to get the run going. Getting onto the ball is Camion. He can't pick it up. Boundary is too close to intercept his chances going forward, and it's out of bounds, right pocket for the Panthers.
And just quickly, Gav, we saw Tom Dunn on the left foot take that kick, and he wasn't taking them in the first quarter, obviously, because it wouldn't have helped with the wind. But now that they're going away from it, he's taking them back again.
Ball's bobbling around the back of the boundary throw-in. Churnside Park can't wrestle their way out or get a kick, so it's well held up by the Pioneers. They're doing the defending early in this second term, but they had, I think if the stats, more inside 50s in that first quarter against the wind, but the wind's tricky. Hand pass running forward, Zanaro gets a long ball, hoping for Virtue. Virtue gets underneath it, pushed off it, and marked claim by Cannon. So not only good defence, he muscled his opponent out of the way there, took a good mark. Goes inboard, as we say, has to be precise. Bouncing ball, Reynolds took a bit of time, hand passes it forward. Has he got a runner? Yes, he has. Now they go inside with a kick. Bouncing ball's not going to suit anyone for the Panthers. It bobbles up, and it's picked up by Causey. Missing. This time it was Dylan Causey who picked it up. Jake was the intended on the bounce, couldn't get to him, but the fall of the ball, Dylan couldn't hook it around.
Boundary.
Minor score. It's 6 points of difference. 4 points Churnside Park, trailing Whitehorse 1-4-10. Oscar on the boundary side.
Just speaking about that wind there, it has picked up again. It's now at about 32 miles per hour, so that wind's definitely going to play a big part in this second term.
Thanks for that, Oscar, as we see the massive dumping kick out of the defensive square from Tom Dunn there. McDougall got hands off. Virtue takes a bounce. He didn't have time to take a bounce, but he took one anyway. Now there's a lot of work to do in the middle. Sim back behind the footy and around it again. He's an impactful player. McDougall with it again. Handball into the corridor. They can go one more instead. Fabris looks long, deep. Young's there. Might dribble through. Fabris from the centre square. I won't say what BT did, but it's equally as surprising as Fabris kicks from just the end of the cricket pitch here at East Ringwood Reserve, and it just dribbled on and dribbled on and dribbled through.
Yeah, no, that's a great finish as well. We talk about, Whitehorse using the centre ground there, Chris. That's a brilliant example there of Fabris of, what to do. He saw that there was, one-on-ones in the goal square, but they pushed up higher, which was smart by Young because he could see the play how it went. So, advantage at the moment, Whitehorse.
You can see how the corridor is the only way to score here at East Ringwood Reserve today. And they'll go again. Haining hands it to Fabris. Fabris gets it again off the hand pass of Haining. Hand passes back to Ward. Ward, long, high ball. Where's Young? Pushes his opponent out. The umpire saw it. It was so obvious.
It was so well, I think that's been the most obvious free kick we've seen today.
And the kick goes out wide and settled down through Bally. But go for it.
Oh, sorry, Gav, just while we're talking stats, not on Premier Data, on my own stats, 4-minute mark again for Whitehorse to score. Scored it at 4 minutes in the first, 4 in the second.
The switch hasn't been set off just yet, but now they got one out wide. So it's with Cannon. Cannon looks over, finds his teammate in Camion. Camion likes to run, but he might have to be the hand passer to the runner. This time he holds up, kicks it out wide. Got some men free. This time it's King. King, long left footer, hoping for Causey. Causey falls in under the pressure of his opponent. He's now not in the contest. Whitehorse get the numbers back. Now maybe a push off. Quick snap and goal, another miss.
They're just waiting, aren't they, boys, for that first goal.
Castledine, who came in with 5 goals in the semi, and he took the ball, snapped, but not truly. Still no goals for Churnside Park. They are 5, trailing by 11.
I'll tell you what, John Dalglish there realised he misread the ball, just stuck out a left boot to stop it from going past. Here's Tom Dunn out of the goal square again. We see that thumping kick, gets it to halfway. It's a weapon that Whitehorse have, and it's a weapon that Whitehorse will continue to use. On this occasion, though, there's a free kick given in the centre of the ground. Jake Coursey calling for the ball in the forward 45. Instead, it's a low-drilled ball. Cut off straight to Jacob Virtue, it ended up being. So a wasted chance there. 0-5-5 plays 2-4-16. Return to centre. G. No side really wanting to keep possession of the ball at the moment, it seems like. As it's intercepted in the middle, Churnside Park inside forward 45. Ficker really slipped. Well affected in the air there by Connell. And now set upon on the ground. So we'll have a ball up just beyond the 45-metre arc out here at East Ringwood Reserve. It's the Pioneers by 11. 6.5 gone in the second term. Tap by Haining, tap further by McDougall. Here's Fabris, the goal scorer. Just looking to get a forward by any means possible. Falling on the footy was Mitch Ward. And there's a free kick going his way. So Ward with ball in hand. We'll just handball it off to Dunn. He's got that left boot on him, hits a target again, no surprise there. Fabris gives it back to Dunn. Dunn fumbled the footy, needs to put his head over it now, didn't do so. It's stripped away by Samuel Cannon. Cannon into the corridor, they can turn and go now, they have to turn and go. He backtracked and there wasn't anyone on the mark, Castledine. Now burst through, Castledine, 50 out. They finally got there first. Trent Castledine opens the scoring for Churnside Park. First major on the board. And I was wondering why he was backtracking when there wasn't anyone in the mark. But you can do whatever you like if you're kicking goals from 50 out. Takes the scoreboard to 1-5-11 against Whitehorse's 2-4-16.
Put on the Jets there, didn't he, Just?
Just what the run up there, but that's what the Churnside have been waiting for. But the question is, could this settle Churnside for the next couple of minutes? Whitehorse, it's up to you now. We've got to strike back at him to keep that set, point at him.
Rucks go at it. Haining wins the tap down. Centre clearance by Whitehorse, but the hand pass pops up. Carroll has to take on the tackle, and Patrick Carroll's been wrapped up. We'll go boundary side, Jared Beadland.
I just feel like Whitehorse's defence is struggling with to adapt to the way that Churnside are suddenly moving the ball differently. They're getting it long and deep, and also Castledine playing up the ground has been dangerous too.
Carroll, he didn't take possession, so he just puts a kung fu kick at it. He gets it forward by 20, chopped off by Skian, hands it off. Now Ficarelli might be on the end of it at half forward, but the ball bounces away. Wind pushes it out, and Ficarelli happy to see that his team are gaining territory any way they can. Haining, though, winning the ruck duel, you'd sense he's just a big body in front. Reynolds does get in front. Haney pushes him off, then wins he hands it off to his teammate. Dunn, long ball, goes even longer with the wind. It's being pushed to that pocket. Downey looks like he's got cement shoes on, but he gets there eventually, and no one catches up with him. The ball catches up with the boundary, and it's out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, Gabe, it almost looks like Thomas Young's figured out how to play with this wind. Instead of going up for the mark himself, he's just working his direct opponent under the footy and letting it get out the back for the quicker plays to chase.
Interesting. Horvath now in front position, trying to push everyone out of the way. The pack formed under the throw-in, and yes, that's a good umpiring decision because it's not the fault of the boundary throw-in. It's the fact that the wind pushed it to the roving pack, and the umpire smartly said, let's do it again. Fair play. Well done, umpire. Ball in, second take at it. It's inside forward 45 for Whitehorse Pioneers. They've got 2 goals on the board. It's hard work getting goals. Horvath wins the tap down. Fabres getting involved, roving beautifully. Higgs Handpass was smothered in a tight pack. Now they go at it all again. There's 10 around the ball. Whitehorse trying to pick it. McDougall trying to play a smart ball by not taking possession in the tackle. Umpire doesn't fall for anything. Clearing kick, nicely judged. Picked off by Clavant. No,
Free kick here.
Yeah, what did you see?
Downfield.
I didn't see it, so tell me
Card's
about
coming
it.
out.
Here's a card for Burt.
Yeah.
So it was in the hands of Churnside Park on the wing, and Burt has got a yellow card, so it must have been very rough. Did you
must have
actually
been hit off
I didn't see it. I actually didn't see it.
Okay.
All I saw was just
the boundary riders? Any view on that?
I was watching the ball, but yeah, Kerr was knocked behind play. I didn't exactly know how, like the nature of the hit, but it was definitely there by the looks of it.
Well, I think Burt and all players want to get involved physically into the game, but when the ball's left, it must have been indiscriminate. Kerr, long ball. Leapers go at it. Big park forms. Sharp at ground level. Tackled, so no clear kick. Sam King. He takes a bounce to the back pocket. There's so many around him. That's audacious. Now the hand pass doesn't find a teammate and open. Of course there's no one open. There's a pack of players pushing each other around. What? Sam King, very brave, very, very interesting to take a... Some players instinctively just want to bounce the ball before they do something. I think Matthew King, is in that pavilion. Now the kick around the corner wasn't a kick around the corner for Prout. Gains 5 metres though out of that ball up, and it's going to be a boundary throw in 40 metres out. So I was calling the wrong King, but it was Matthew. But interesting, it didn't work out for Churnside Park. It's still a ball up. It's got some scores around the corner.
South Belgrave 36 to North Ringwood 32. So South Belgrave back in front.
So Horvath again wins front position. It comes back to him. He kicks. It was a drop kick because he dropped it, then kicked it. But the Churnside Park holding up nicely, solid in defence. This time Clement tries to go for it. Ficcarelli's there to help. He just dodges by ducking under a tackle. His kick around the corner finds 20, clears the congestion, and is a bit of a touch finder for the defence to hold a breath there. Churnside Park doing well in defence.
I'll tell you what, I know it's Division 4, but I haven't seen a game, I can't remember seeing a game in which both sides were up for it so physically and so dominant in willing to bring their physicality to both sides of the footy in a long time, as McDougall nutmegs his opponent with a bit of a dribble kick, but it's found its way over the boundary line. It almost feels like there's a few players out there just headhunting at the moment. Makes for a good watch from our perspective at least, as we'll have a boundary throw in. Rux will go at it and prepare. It's Haining getting the best of the bodywork in the contest. It's gone straight over the boundary line again. So again, despite the clearances being fairly even at quarter time, we see Andrew Haining just doing seemingly whatever he wants in the ruck contest at the minute. He'll win it again. Gee, it seemed like he was going to win it, just fresh aired the punch.
He's just using his body to the advantage at the moment over maybe even a knee up.
Can he hold for 4 quarters, guys? He's a big fella.
Yeah.
Well, he'll know best himself. He's definitely using that mismatch, like you said. Blake, now Virtue around the footy, couldn't quite take it. Prout was down there. Virtue gets a handball off just. Here's the man in Parsons, gets a handball off, was looking for Kerr. Churnside Park looking to get it out. Josh Clavant's been very good so far today. He gets it down. 2v1. Dirksen went through like a bulldozer. Going to ground his ward. Gets a handball off. Ficcarelli at ground level. Dropped the footy. Umpire saw it, holding the ball. Well called. He's debating it, but I don't think he's got much merit on which to debate it there. It was a good call from the umpire.
I'm with him, actually. He hand-passed it, but it was so soft, the handball. It wasn't. It was one of those AFL little ones.
So looking for a 1v3 target, but Edward Sim did well just to get a hand to the ball to avoid giving away the out of bounds on the full.
And that domination in the ruck still continuing. 11 hit-outs this quarter to 3.
So we'll see Edward Sim pushing forward of the footy again, which is interesting now. Haining in the ruck. They cancel each other out. Prout's in pursuit of it. So 2 or 3 other Churnside players. And we'll have another boundary throw-in.
So looking at the headouts here, boys, Haining and of course, Reynolds. Haining's got 25 hit-outs to 7 here, so he's definitely winning that one here.
Tried to grab that one out of the ruck, couldn't quite do it. McDougall just got off the inside, it's out of bounds on the full. He'll be disappointed with that effort, McDougall, but...
And if you want to talk about hit-outs to advantage, it's 6-0 in that point of view, so you would say Haining's on top at the moment.
And even when they're not getting first use, he's getting it into those areas where he knows that the rest of his team can pressure and make an impact, Blake. Yep. As Belly takes the mark in defensive 45. Ushered to play on, so he'll be set upon by the man on the mark. Kick will drift wide and will go out of bounds on the full.
Didn't even put much into that one.
No, it just kept going. Maybe it was flush, so the wind just took it like a goal shot.
So Matt McCormack will just look to return to centre. Sends a high kick inside forward 5. There's a pack forming under it. Punched by Downey. Fell into the hands of Sim. There's a whistle being blown. Which way is it going to go? It's going the way of the Pioneers. Whitehorse will have a shot on goal.
Did anyone see that? I don't know if I didn't see what happened there.
I believe it's going the way of Harrison Prout.
No, Hewitt.
Hewitt, sorry. Adam
no,
Hewitt.
It's not. So it's going the way of Adam Hewitt.
Yep. Former Montrose men too. So there's 2 of them playing.
Tell you what, Gav, if you're playing golf in this weather, you're pretty keen.
Sometimes it goes with you, sometimes it goes against you.
Okay, that's your excuse.
So Ewell will kick from about a 50-degree angle, 30 metres out. This to extend the lead. Here's Adam Hewitt. It goes out, and I think it's struck through. Has it snuck through? Yes, it has. It has indeed. So it looked like the wind got a hold of it, but it got a hold of it all too late, and that's through for another Whitehorse Pioneer major. Adam Hewitt gets his first of the day.
Just get it in, did it? Just almost. I thought it hit the post, maybe clipped it a bit, but.
God, please don't bring ARC score reviews into the EFNL. Don't do that.
Do we have someone in the the little office or something available? I know we got Premier Data watching our game today, but a 666 going to Whitehorse here.
Well, I called yesterday's one, didn't I?
James Bally was not in the.
So Haining quick to play on, bouncing ball gets the way to full forward. Young tried to hand it off. Oh, sorry, Horvath. Tried to hand it off was Sims. But anyway, it's been a chopped off clearing kick, and it's in the hands of the Whitehorse Pioneers player out on the flank. So he's going to have a set shot from 45 metres out, and with the wind left to right, if he puts it on left post, he might be full advantageous here for the Pioneers to get another quick goal from that free kick against the 6-6. Long ball, driving ball, left, stays left, minor score. So a let off there for Churnside Park, who have had 2 free kicks in a row that really have proven costly. This time it's a point. So it's Whitehorse Pioneers extending their lead, 3-5-23, leading by 12. Churnside 1-5-11. 17 minutes gone, second term of this grand final.
Ooh. So the kick, looked like it was going to fall short, but Callum Harper takes the mark, gets it one further. They'll look one more down the wing. Well affected in the contest by Tom Dunn. Footy stays in play. Around it was McDougall, and it's gone over.
I don't think the short chip kicks are on today, just with the wind and how it's going. Maybe a bomb sort of kick, get the tools involved.
Yeah, especially unless they're really drilling the footy, which is not an easy skill to do.
Yeah, but I think it just then swirls around too much and probably just takes that advantage away from them.
So true centre wing boundary throwing came off Haining. It was actually Reynolds that got the better of the stoppage though, and then crunches his man in a tackle. Footy stayed in play, and Patrick Carroll just walks it out of bounds. So we'll have a boundary throwing true centre wing just below us here. Thank you for joining us on the EFNL YouTube and Facebook pages. Out here at East Ringwood Reserve, it's Churnside Park 1-5-11, Whitehorse Pioneers 3-5-23. It's Whitehorse, 12 points to the good in this Division 4 Senior Grand Final as it's punched wide. Came-in's around the footy. Good bit of body work there by Tom Kerr. Came-in picks it up. Kerr tackles him. Patrick Carroll was more than willing to take the footy away from them both. Now they're looking to go forward. A lot of work still to be done. Handball out wide by Leslie. Cut off by Sim. Sim Goldwoods. It's going to go across the face. Might dribble out for a throw-in. Won't quite get there. Here's Sam Cannon. Cannon darting inside, sells a bit of candy, now looks wide, looks for a teammate, Sims diving across, Young got the intercept of the ball and it will come back for a minor score.
How about that wind that just took that one?
Yeah, well we saw the little chip kick you talked about before, Blake, just didn't pay off.
I think that you're just going to go long today, unfortunately. You know, we see
if you're a defender especially.
Yeah, I think you're just going to go long.
Running away from goals, Leslie. Long driving ball, and that's a nice mark. Churnside Park holding the ball nicely. King loads up a long ball. Underneath it is Causey. Dylan couldn't make. He's got his Jake there as well. Dylan trying to push off the tackler, and the umpire gives him no latitude to try to be aggressive in the contest because he was only slightly held, but the ball dropped out of his grasp. It was holding the ball against Dylan Causey. They go across ground, but this might suit. Ball falls in the hands of Carroll, his second one into the contest. High up and under. Who's going to mark it? It's going to be a hard one. Brilliant mark. Well done, Leslie's. He was under, that was Thatcher. He was under that for an age, but he stood tall and he judged the flight of the ball and he took the mark, got Cannon into, and eventually kicked it to Cannon. Cannon from the right back pocket puts it to the boundary side. It comes in board. Downey was there. He only had to go to the punch in the end, but at ground level, Churnside Park got the numbers. Ball's being smothered by Whitehorse Pioneers. Do well just to hold it into their area.
When have we seen a Churnside switch this quarter? You know, we've seen it heavily in the first, but we haven't seen it, you know, that run and drive from Churnside.
Well, it's almost... They're not hitting targets out of defence, are they, Blake? So the switch is very dangerous. They're gun shy.
Well, they kicked their first goal on the run too, so... You know, we saw the switch in that first quarter when the players were down there, 1-2 link up. We haven't seen it this quarter.
It's when they look their best, isn't it, Blake?
Yep.
So the ball was taken out of the ruck, kick goes into the pocket. It's a fight for the ball, still in the left pocket. It'll be another ball up eventually. So Whitehorse winning the territorial battle in the last 5 minutes.
Just got a score down at Jubilee Park, 2-4-16 East Ringwood to Roval 3-1-19.
All right, as the Rucks will go at it, this time it's Reynolds winning out. Downey just throwing boot to ball and getting it clear for now. It might come back shortly though. A lot of groundwork to be done as there's even matchups there. They'll go wide from Ficcarelli, set upon immediately. Dunn looking to come away with the ball now. That's the Shepherd. They get it into the forward 45, but it's over the fence and out of bounds on the full. So we'll have Churnside Park to bring it back in.
Do well to kick it out in the full on that side, don't you? The wind should help you.
Should bend it back.
As they'll just chip it down the line. It was in the hands of Carroll. Fell through though. Now a chance to reel onto the right boot for the Pioneers. Chip kick up there. It's going to sit up. Might get out the back of the pack. Panthers have the numbers. A chance for a bit of calm on the footy now, but instead they elect to kick to a 1v1. The footy's going to go over the boundary line. And they had the chance to use the handball receive there, but instead elected to go quick. Didn't quite work out in the end.
I think while Whitehorse has got the pressure, probably leaving those loose still down in backline for Churnside.
Just two there.
Yeah, just not working for them. They may as well put the pressure on them, put the defence under pressure.
Yep.
So we'll have a boundary throw in centre wing just below us here. Haining back in the ruck. He wins a hit out this time. Punches it out to Carroll. That's Sam Carroll this time. Now he goes forward. Sim around it. Couldn't quite pick it up cleanly. Going to ground to get the footy was Daniel Fielding. He's set upon by Prout. And we'll have a ball up. Well, it's time on here, 22-20 played. It's still the Pioneers by 13. Haining in the ruck, misjudged it this time. Reynolds one out. It's past Sam Carroll. Josh Clavin going to it now. Immediately wrapped up by Prout. Almost unlucky. It was such a good tackle that the footy fell out as a result and both players fell upon it. So the Rucks will go at it once more. It's Reynolds again. He's starting to get a bit more of an influence in that contest. Reeling away now is King. Gets boot to ball. It'll go high. It will drop short. And it will drop into the hands of a teammate in Sam King. King on the left boot. The footy will chuck back into the middle. Dirkson's under it. They have spares to the Pioneers. They eventually get it set upon immediately by the tacklers. And we'll have a ball up. 30 out from the Panthers uprights. And again, like we said in the first quarter, finally it feels like Churnside Park have a bit of territory to work with. Dirksen in the ruck, taps it over his head in the hands of Castledine. They need something here. Dirksen picks it up again. Ward turns tackler. Another ball up as we go boundary side to Jared Beanland.
Matt King's just come off holding his arm gingerly.
So we'll keep an eye on that one. We hope that he's okay. As the ball up again, like we said, 25-30 metres out. Dirksen wins the ruck contest, gets it to Jake Causey. Causey couldn't get boot to ball. Looking to bring it out now is Dale Galeesh. Umpire calls for it.
So if you actually think about it now, Churnside have realistically got two players on the bench available just due to Bird going off with the yellow card, of course.
It's a good shout, Blake. 2 rotations down now. Was looking to burst through. Left foot snap. Is it coming back? Didn't come back enough from Sam King. It's a minor score, 1-6-12. Plays 3-6-24. 12 points the margin as we enter 24 minutes played.
So if I was Whitehorse, I'll try to run him out for, we're in
24 minutes now. Just if they can get a goal on the brink of the siren, I think this could be advantage Whitehorse for this first half.
Kick in, well it got there in the end, but off hands to Connell. That was the intended receiver. Got in the way was his teammate Carroll, and his opponent Churnside Park hands just intercepted what was claimed to be a mark, but the Pioneers have to go through the ruck of Haining. Taps it to the ground level. At ground level, Camion's ball smothered. Gets into the other number two's hands, Sharp. Sharp for Whitehorse. One hand pass, gets it going. Sims on the end of it. Drives a long ball to Mount Dandon Road. At the back, no punch come in from the Kerr at ground level. They're all looking at it. Someone has to go for it. Whitehorse Pioneer through Virtue. Hands it off. Tries to find Kerr again. Hand pass didn't find. And he knocks it over without any pressure. What's the ruling? He was in the goal square, and there was another player of Whitehorse colours.
I think it's in the projected 9 or whatever.
Yeah, 9 metres, 10 metres, something of the sorts.
Fortunate for him, Carroll was in the vicinity, but there was really no pressure to concede a point. It's a minor score. Haining in good position, but it goes over the head. Finally pops up to Haining. He knocks it down. Ground level. Can Churnside get it going from Camion? He has to tap it on. Taps it on to himself eventually, but he gets stripped of the ball in the tackle. And Whitehorse do well in defence because Camion, if he just could have got a step with the ball, he was off.
Gee, Thomas Connell did brilliantly there. He had about 3 Churnside Park players to pick from. Came up and affected the contest and made the most of it. So Haining grabs it out of the ruck. He was just a grown man in there. Now being set upon on the ground is Fabris. It's going to come out though. Reynolds gets a handball into some space. He Skeens in pursuit. Gets a handball. Look for Ficarilli. Ficarilli tucked it to Castledon. Castledon on the right foot. Snap. Is it bending back enough? Not quite. Another minor score. 26 minutes gone. Churnside Park 1-7-13. Whitehorse Pioneers 3-7-25. So traffic being directed from the kick in. They're going to go long here with the Pioneers. Plenty of bodies under it. One of them is Haining, one of them is Reynolds. Reynolds flew, got 2 hands to it, couldn't quite clunk the mark. They have to get a handball out somehow. The Pioneers, they do so through Haining. Young gets it one further. Carroll, Pat Carroll, handballed it to himself. He just got caught up between 2 options. Got taken without it. Umpire says nothing doing. He had options to his right, had options to his left, just couldn't decide in the end.
Just see now, they've been more cleaner side out on the ground there. Look at good chain of hand passes. Churnside are more of a skill side, as I've mentioned before here.
Certainly right. Haining just grabbing it out of the ruck, but he's lost it this time. Wheeling away is Dylan Causey. Inside forward 45, he looks for Jay Causey off a hand. Durkins is around there. It's going to spill out to Camion. Camion looking for the lead-up option of Causey. Terrific intercept there. Just got a hand to it. They're going to look to bring it out. 1, 2, gets it back. Ficarilli's down behind play. Haining's going to take the mark. Almost got a shoulder to the chest. Handball receiver's going to come in the form of number 18 in Nelson. Nelson goes 1 forward. Dunn. 1 more outside. Reynolds setting upon him. Back to Dunn. Dunn on the left boot. Chips it up. Horvath. Does he ever miss a target, Tom Dunn? Now he's Horvath with the mark. Looks inside. Scream kick. Came off the wrong part of the boot. It will get out. Pat Carroll. Pat Carroll's kicked the goal. And they've gone back to front in the speed of the flash. Before you could even call it. Before I had time to breathe, they were from defensive 45 to forward 45. And Patrick Carroll gets his first of the day.
I think we've got to mention James Nelson there, just out the back there. We saw it in the pocket. That's what you can't talk about, the moments in this game, boys. What a run that was. Great chance of hand passes, using your big ruckman. And as you mentioned, Carroll just finishing it off there. That is just a pure domination of how this game is going, and it's going Whitehorse's way.
And you know what else, Blake? Not only we've talked a lot about Haining's work in the ruck, but he's been so clean getting his hands free and getting handballs off. As we'll go boundary side of Jared Beanland.
Yeah, what Whitehorse is doing at the moment that Churnside are not, they're spreading from the contest so well. They're working hard to become options for each other. And here they go again through Kerr.
Kerr, long ball, got the hand pass received from Haining in the ruck, ground level now. It's come out the back, off the boot. It was off Sharp's boot. He towed it, but he's towed it through. 20-metre dribble, and Haining gets it to the runner and Kerr, and the long ball is putting heaps of pressure on Churnside Park. And at ground level, they're getting in amongst it. Sharp on the end of it, towed it in from 20.
Just quickly, guys, it's Aaron Bird who's back out there after the yellow card.
Yep.
So this score is a bit of a blowout now as we approach half-time. There's probably only a minute to go. Whitehorse, the underdogs, 5-7-37, leading Churnside Park 1-7-13. 4 goals up in this granny.
Oh, wow, what a quarter it's been from the Whitehorse Pioneers so far. They've piled on 4 goals to 1. They'll look to get one more. The jump came really early from the Panthers. Ruckman in Leslie. It was Haney that got it forward. Looking to bring it out now with Dylan Causey. He's been good so far. Chips it into the corridor. Mark taken. Play on immediately by Mitchell Skeen. Skeen looking to get it inside forward 45. It might just bounce there. Ficcarelli set upon immediately. And it has to be said, boys, out of all the firepower that Churnside Park having that forward 45, the Whitehorse Pioneers have had the fire extinguisher out and they're suppressing them all.
Just a chain of hand passes are really lifting the Pioneers at this stage.
Yeah, it's a good one there because it leads into a stat. 40 handballs to 22 this quarter, Blake. So you're spot on there for
and
Whitehorse.
And have you got the clearances too? Sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus.
No, you have. I'll get back to you on that one. No, actually, 15 to 10. 15 to 10 in Whitehorse's favour.
There we go. So we have the tackle in the middle there. We're ticking on to 30 minutes played. It's been an absolutely thrilling first half, I have to say, despite what would normally be considered a low-scoring encounter as Leslie leaps highest. Haney gets fished the footy though, and we'll have another ball up just on the forward 45 arc of Churnside Park. So the Pioneers just won't want to give up another score here.
30 minutes. I don't think we've had much stoppage, so...
We have had the goals a fair bit. We have had a yellow card as well. So Haining just getting a handball out. They'll go again now through McCormack. McCormack, high dumping kick. Alone in the back 45 is Paul Thatcher. Will the footy sit up for him? Tom Young's in pursuit and he's saved by the bell as the siren goes. It's a barnstorming second turn from the Whitehorse Pioneers to open up a 24-point lead. Whitehorse 5-7-37. Churnside Park 1-7-13. And as there's a few afters in the middle, the playing coaches going after each other, we will take the time to give you the goal scorers so far today. For Churnside Park, it's a single to Trent Castledine. For Whitehorse Pioneers, it is singles to Adam Hewitt, Sam Carroll, Patrick Carroll, Anthony Sharp and Anthony Fabris. So we are going to go away for our main break. We will have the halftime show on for you all as we have Lee Odermatt sit down with our very own Wayne Brusher. Lee Odermatt, one of the most in the know people across Division 4 and across the EFNL. We've been lucky enough to get him on today for our pre-game and halftime shows, so it would be a disservice if you tuned out for now. We will see you soon for the third quarter and we will see you even sooner for the halftime show. But at halftime of the Division 4 Senior Grand Final, it is the Pioneers by 24 points.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Do you want to study at the #1 sports science school worldwide? Study sport at Deakin and benefit from the most advanced sports facilities available, from running tracks to biomechanics labs, and decked out gyms to a climate chamber. Deakin have what you need to graduate ahead of the pack. Discover endless opportunities in sports science by visiting deakin.edu.au/sport. Deakin,
proud sponsors of the EFNL.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Half time here at East Ringwood, and what a first half by Whitehorse Pioneers. They lead 5-7-37 to Churnside Park 1-7-12. Goal kickers for Whitehorse: Fabris, Sharp, Carroll of the Patrick variety, Sam Carroll and Adam Hewitt. Whilst for Churnside, the only goal kicker has been Trent Castledine. Joining me for half time is our special guest analyst for the day in Lee Odermatt. And Lee, Whitehorse have certainly come to play this afternoon.
We've got a game on our hands, don't we? Chalk and cheese from that second semi from the other week, when the conditions, as I said before, were 18 degrees, sunny, not a blade of wind. And today it's Hurricane Katrina. That extra week of sharpness with the Whitehorse guys. This is what I saw last week from the Whitehorse guys: the running, the chasing, the linking, which we didn't see in the second semi from these guys. So it's come out again, and they've really put themselves in the contest. So it's obviously very tricky out there with the conditions. Both teams have kicked 7 points apiece, but it's that scoreboard pressure by kicking those 5 goals against them that's what it's going to take to knock off this fantastic Churnside team.
Yes, and let's go through the Eastland Premier Data team stats for half time. It is, and Churnside with 94 kicks, Pioneers 81. That seems a bit of a misnomer, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how much you can sort of take away from having a look at a couple of those. Like, there's nothing sort of clear in like the tackles and stuff like that where there's an outlier. What I've sort of seen, it's probably more so at stoppage, particularly, the midfield for Whitehorse are holding their shape, and Heining's obviously winning a lot of those tap contests, and it's down to the first midfielder, then out to the guy on the outside, and then they're away. So that's what they've been able to do pretty consistently so far. And every time they've trusted that forward hand pass, and it's really blown the Churnside guys apart at the moment.
Marks are 28-22, so they look pretty even. But I think Whitehorse have taken the marks in the more important areas of
look, the hand passes are up, and that makes sense with how you've seen the Whitehorse guys play so far. They've done that forward hand pass out of stoppage, which has really sort of opened the game up for them. But as I say, for anyone that was here during the second semi, the Whitehorse guys were flat as attack. They weren't running, they weren't pressuring, they weren't tackling. They've put themselves in the game. Arguably probably the other end is the scoring end, so we're really going to know where we're at the end of the third quarter, I reckon.
Inside 50s 24-18, tackles 31-27. I think Whitehorse basically have got more value for money for their inside 50s.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the clearances, 19-25 in Whitehorse's favour, and probably that contested possessions as well. So, at ground level, it's been fantastic to see some of the hits and the body pressure, as you'd expect being a grand final. The boys that both teams are playing like it's on the line at the moment, so it's fantastic.
Reynolds in the ruck, I think, needs to change the way he's attacking Haining, and I think he needs to start jumping a bit more rather than try and outbody him. Yeah, no, I don't think there's too many people that can outbody Big Andrew. But I think Dermby's been really good around the ground, and that's probably where he's going to get Andrew in terms of his, athleticism. But I'm sort of maybe a little bit worried with the backup ruck situation with obviously Leslie going in there. Obviously Leslie can jump quite high, but yep. I think Andrew I thought last week was Andrew Haining's best game of the year, looking through some of the footage, and today his tap work has been absolutely magnificent. Okay, let's look at Whitehorse first. What did they do right? Well, I was a little bit worried when Patrick Carroll missed that first goal, which I think he'd normally sort of hit, and I thought, gee, they just really need to put pressure on them. But it's just been their team attack and pressure like that. Churney didn't see that the other week. So, in the prelim and this week, just as a unit, they were very lost at sea very early when Churnside started putting that scoreboard pressure on them. So they've definitely followed up with the same endeavour and the same pressure that they brought in the prelim. They've given themselves every chance. I think their back six Whitehorse have done exceptionally well, tying up and giving no space to the Churnside forward 50.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the wind has helped. It's definitely harder to catch out there. I could tell for a fact. But what I think Dalglish has probably learned from the last couple of times I'm playing on Dirksen, not to engage, because he's not going to push Jared Dirksen out of the way. He's just giving him that little pocket and then sticking it in the air when it sort of comes down. So, they've been very organised, done as well for Whitehorse. Been very organised. So they've pressed back and helped each other. They're giving themselves every chance.
Have Churnside gone away from their game plan, you think, Otis, considering, and maybe they've let the conditions dictate the terms in terms of the way they've played?
Probably a little bit. You'll see that Whitehorse is sort of doing that forward hand pass and they're trusting that little short kick before they're taking that big kick. As I said today, what Whitehorse had to do to try and unsettle is first put scoreboard pressure on, but get them into that uncomfortable thing where they are behind on the scoreboard to get them to dump the ball. When you're getting Churnside to dump the ball, you're going outside of their wheelhouse. Their wheelhouse is that pace on the ball, short kick, overlap run. They're basically giving their game against them is what Whitehorse are doing at the moment.
So what are Churnside got to do? Do they have to open the forward line up and spread those half forwards and forward pockets out a bit more and then try and go down the middle and try and isolate their big guns?
Yeah, they've definitely got to go back to trusting what's worked well for them all year, mate. And as I say, they're still well in the game, so this game is not over and done with. The Churnside team can score very, very quickly. They've got the guys who can take a game away from this. So Whitehorse this will be the conversation inside. They'll be saying that they're not comfortable and they've still got to go next level as well. So there'll be sort of two different conversations going on either side of the wall. But Whitehorse will be saying, look, well, we can't be comfortable, and obviously Churnside will be saying, let's get back to what's worked all year.
So what would Justin's demeanour be in the change rooms at the moment, Otis? How will he be reacting, or how will he be talking to his players? Because he's going to have to be very cool, calm and collected.
Absolutely. Look, I think he's got to be cool, calm and collected, so everyone's sort of saying that he's still in a calm state himself. But obviously getting across, what they're not doing well in a constructive manner. So, he's got to be positive with the guys that he's got. They're always in the game. They're not out of it until they're out of it. And at the moment, they only need 10-15 minutes to be back in the game, I can assure you.
So can Whitehorse hold on?
Oh, look, they've given us a game. This quarter will tell where we're at. You would think that there's a slight advantage to the end that Whitehorse is going with now. If they can sort of increase that lead going into the last quarter, it's going to make it very hard. But alternatively, the Churney that we know comes out and just levels that pegging and gets within earshot, we might be in for another hard stopper like yesterday, mate.
Well, Lee, thanks very much for coming up at half-time and going head-to-head with me. And that's the end of half-time, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, the call team will reassemble for the big last half of the Division 4 Grand Final here between Churnside Park and Whitehorse. Coming to you live on Radio Eastern 98.1 and streaming all around the world on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks, Otis.
Thanks, mate.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet: pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baroni Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Straight back into the second half of the Division 4 Grand Final. Whitehorse Pioneers have jumped the Churnside Park Panthers, but Churnside tried to get the first centre clearance of the second half. Being chopped off by Ward. Ward gets them off and running. Carroll, long ball from the square at the ground level. Nearly a mark for Whitehorse Pioneers, but it's at ground level. Dangerous around the corner. It's Carroll putting a high up and under. I've mentioned him twice. 2 brothers going at it. One from half back. And this time it was Patrick Carroll's kick. Didn't get the distance. We've got 2 underneath it. And the ball drops short 10 metres away from the Pioneers' goal. 5-7-37, big 4-goal lead at half-time. First minute, big opportunity for the Pioneers against what has been the prevailing wind. Hand pass backwards to Parsons on the run. He hasn't got a kicking angle, so he might go again from the hand pass to Virtue. He couldn't get on the end of a hand pass in the pocket. It's gone out of bounds. And they are going full metal at the moment are the Pioneers. And it's been a quick start off the break. Well done to the boys at half-time, talking about the game. Horvath did the rucking, Virtue ground level, kicks around the corner, bounces away. Here go the Pioneers, and a snap around the corner from Prout. He looked right, he stuttered, and he just took everyone on the scent, and on the bounce, he took it and kicks around on the right, and that is a big goal because it's a 5-goal lead for the Pioneers. It's a long way back for Churnside. They've only kicked 1 today to be trailing by 30. Blake Tennant, what's going on?
I don't know, and it's just maybe it's a mental things or a grand final, the nerves. They haven't been here since 2009, Churnside, so maybe that's kicking in. I don't know, but Whitehorse are just coming out like they did last week, boys, against a really good Warrandyte team, and they're just embracing this underdog tag, which is incredible to see at the moment.
So first blood goes to the Pioneers. It's important because I'm sure that Churnside Park would have had quite the rev up and quite the drilling at half time. But now the Pioneers looking to get out of the middle again. Footy's in the hands of Parsons. He goes to Ward. Ward neglects the handball received. Now goes further. I was looking for Prout. Prout in pursuit now as he gets out the back. He's got a man on him. Held on to it temporarily. Free kick paid. Advantage will be paid. Going in. Carroll stops. Looks to centres. Couldn't quite get it to Sharp. Now Sharp goes though. Kick towards Thomas Young. And it's found its way out of bounds. So I'll have a boundary throw in. It's the right option, I reckon, from Carroll to look back inside, but just underdid the kick. So I'll have a boundary throw in just next to the behind post. Inside the Whitehorse, forward 45. The rucks will go at it. This time it's Horvath in the ruck for the Pioneers. They're looking to bring it out. Send the snap goalward. They're looking to go, and they'll look to do just that as Anthony Sharp gets his second of the day. And at the moment, that's all Churnside Park are doing. They're just looking. All they can do is look and watch as the Whitehorse Pioneers run rings around them. The first 2 of the third term go to Whitehorse. And all of a sudden, we have a 6-goal margin on our hands in the Division 4 decider.
It's a huge hit, coming out, like I said, from the sheds. They obviously would have had a fair spray on Churnside, but for the response by Whitehorse, electric, just straight out 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, 2 centre clearances. Haining standing against Dirksen. They've decided to go big in the middle with the big body of Dirksen. He does win the clearance, gets it off to his teammate on the bounce to Clevant. Now the ball bounces to Bally, tries to take on a tackle, eventually gets out of the tackle, kicks to the goal square. No mark taken. Causey hasn't got much of it today, as Jake had a man right on his hammer, and the kick not to his advantage. Just an errant kick there by Bally, who had to walk out of a tackle before he could do anything going forward. So it's a ball in, right point post. It's over Hanning's head, goes towards Churnside Park with the kick forward by Leslie. Whitehorse holding up nicely, Ward, but his clearing kick will be only cleared for a short second. Causey's got it. From 45, goes towards the boundary, look to hook it in, has to hook it in with his non-preferred left, high up and under. The defender there, and Sim is there to take the mark. He just ran ferociously. Now the kick is a short one and he finds a teammate. He went from the pocket to the middle in 15-minute charge of the ball. Sim, great mark in defence. The kick goes nicely to his teammate in McDougall, who finds Sharp, and they are hitting targets. That's the big difference, Blake. You've said it all today. Hitting targets, keeping ball in hand in these conditions, very important. From the back flank, Sharp goes long. Ball doesn't do what it did in the first half, where it went 5 metres away into the out of bounds, but it's been punched out, and winning the territory again are Pioneers.
One thing, Gav, like for Churnside in this right to screen, always sort of leading into that like right pocket. They need to get over on that left side. That the wind isn't causing as much havoc over there as it does in that right. That's why Causey just can't get onto it.
The umpire lets the boundary throw in miss everyone, so they'll play on. The kick goes forward by Clevant, but his kick has been seen out. Josh, he was running to the boundary, and of course the ball, when it's kicked in that direction, is going to go out on the full. So the kick for the switch to Connell, who's been a tower in defence.
So they'll just assess their options forward of the footy now. We'll just pump it along to this near side wing. Late hit, that will go downhill. And why we're bringing it up to speed, boys, just something I've noticed. They've moved Churnside Park and moved Jared Dirksen back in the middle of the field. So he's not the deepest forward anymore like we heard him be in the first half. They put him more likely on Haining just to try and even that matchup out.
He just hasn't had an impact, though. That's the thing, Chris. So they've got to move the magnets around Churnside here.
Oh, and that kicks off the instep. It's out of bounds on the full. True centre wing just below us here.
Just what I've also noticed is that I've seen that Xavier Leslie's been in the ruck a little bit. He's not in the contest as we speak. Oh, it's out of full, sorry. But Leslie's been in the ruck too. So they're throwing the magnets around, which is telling the nerves. They're nervous, Churnside.
Well, they needed to, didn't they? They needed to try something new because it wasn't working. Andrew Haining was having way too much influence on this matchup. But now they can try something new here. Josh Clavin looked to stutter step, got swarmed upon, and an absolutely terrific defensive effort there by Tom Kerr, who is just not letting Clavant get away from him by any means.
He didn't fall for that subtle walk.
So Kerr, just a high kick. Horvat leads, got two hands to it. Dirksen chopped his arms. Free kick going to Horvat. They can go quickly if they like, but instead just elect to slow it down. Patrick Carroll's just below us, all by himself on the wing, but he'll kick to a 3v2, but that 2, one of them is Thomas Young. He takes the mark, rules onto the right. He's got a leading option inside 45. He'll get out the back of the pack. Will it sit up for Sam Carroll? It will. The dribbler and goalkeeper on the line sliding through, stops it. So just a minor score there. Scoreboard, race to the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Churnside Park 1-7-13. Whitehorse Pioneers 7-8-50 after 7.5 in the third term. It is Whitehorse against the script by 37.
They're under the pump of the Panthers. They trailed by 24 at half time, and with 2 quick goals to Whitehorse, it's a big 37-point lead. Big because it's 50 playing 13. Push off, and maybe we'll see. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. And Sam King gives away the free kick on the wing. It's in the hands of Nelson. He goes short, very short. Just a mark. If they got the ruler out, maybe not, but Kerr takes the mark. Now the short proppy kick finds Young, half forward. He's always good to find a target. He does like to use the wind cleverly, so he might prop it up in the middle and then allow the wind to go to a high pack. There's about 4v4. No, only one running there was Sharp. He couldn't take the mark. He was more, maybe surprised he was the one going to be under the marking of it. And Sharp, he does like it lower, and he takes the tackle on and holds it in for the Pioneers.
which he done was just to the left of Young there where he had the footing, was in about 10 metres of space but just got ignored.
Haining, big punch out wide. It might be suited up for Carroll. Carroll goes inboard, but the defence are there, and it's in the hands of Burt, who's seen off his yellow card and is back on the field. And he does a transition kick across the goals.
So they're now looking to get back to switching the footy, but that kick's underdone. It's underdone and it might be intercepted as a result. Burt turning tackler now. They'll come away with a footy. Just handball. Leslie on the far side wing just sends a kick. 1v1 contest there. Savvy gets a left fist to it. Looking to bring it out of the middle of the Panthers though. And they get it inside forward 45. They both underdid the ball. It was out the back of the pack. Good work there from King. Looking to get a goalward and scoring. They're appealing for touched.
Here we go.
Definitely touched.
Score review.
Definitely touched.
Appealing for the touch is James Nelson.
They're giving it.
It's a goal. It goes to Trent Castledine. And just a defensive miscue there from the Pioneers defence, which have been so solid so far today. They had a 3v2 and the two at the contest both misjudged the flight of the footy. It allowed Sam King, who was smarter than them all, to just duck out the back of the pack. And as a result, Trent Castledine gets his second of this game.
Boundary.
Okay, boundary side, what do you reckon?
Most of Churnside Park's scoring shots, including the behinds, have come from when the ball has hit the deck in the forward line. So they're troubling Whitehorse defenders in that way. Here it goes again.
Dirksen does a Haining. He takes it out of the ruck. Long driving ball. Leslie in the forward line takes on the tackler. And he'll have to hand it to the umpire. So Dirksen, big move by the coach. Similar mould of man to Haining. Haining goes against the leaner option this time in Leslie. Ball hits the deck. Now it's Whitehorse that have to soak up the pressure, and they're going to use the boundary line just to kill the ball for now. Haining going to do the ruck. Dirksen's going to hold back as a spare behind the ball. So if the ball flies out from a clearance, he might be the marker as a spare. It is in the forward line for Churnside Park. Haining takes it out of the ruck. Got time to hand pass it to a teammate. The dribbling hand pass does find a teammate. The clearing kick. There it is in the hands of Dirksen. Pushed off it. Even the big man getting knocked over is seen by the umpires as a free kick against Clavant. Gets a quick play on as he takes the free kick down the field. And he finds Leslie with a short pass. And this is better by the Panthers.
Yeah, this is probably the best we've seen Churnside Park today. You know, they've had a couple of good looks in this. You know, this last couple, I'll say maybe 5-6 minutes in this period.
This has got to be, in terms of degrees of difficulty, this is the lowest you're going to get. The wind tunnel straight down the ground. Can Leslie convert and get Churnside Park back in this grand final? Puts it left post, works the umpire a little bit, but the umpire is going to signal the goal because it goes straight through the middle in the end. And Leslie's goal has closed the gap. Are the Panthers back in this? They need to take advantage of this term with the wind. 11 minutes gone. It's 2 goals apiece this term. Churnside Park 3-7-25. Trail by 25. Whitehorse is 7-8-50.
Well, they even up the ledger, didn't they? So 2 goals apiece now. I think the next goal has to be Churnside if they want to still be in this ball game. They're down by 25 points.
Well, you're bang on there, Blake. It certainly looks like Churnside Park are just starting to get back to their best footy. Not only are they using it better, but it just seems to be a few of those unforced skill errors. They're just starting to work them out of the game. So what do Whitehorse have now? Now the momentum's back in the favour of the Panthers a bit. Although the scoreboard is in, can the Pioneers stand up? Clavant gets it to his brother in Josh. Now a lot of footy to be won here. This will be a key contest. Going to ground is Nelson, who's going to come out with a footy. It looks like it might be McCormack, and it will. His kick only falls as far as Belly though. Belly out wide, finds a teammate in Sam King. King looking to set a teammate up. Can't quite do so. Connell's around the footy. Couldn't quite take it cleanly. They'll look to repel. That's a shanked kick. An absolute clanger if you will, and it's out of bounds. And there's a cop car there that I think it hit.
That's what I was just
Quick runaway, whoever kicked it.
Well, I hope the person, the cappuccino maker's not been knocked off his game because I'm very happy with his work.
So it will be in the hands of Samuel King here. Man in the mark's 44 out.
Difficult kick, isn't it, Chris? Because you're going to kick into the wind, Scott. Yeah, we're talking about that before.
That is for sure, but especially for a right footy, you'd feel like in terms of working an angle, it would give him a few more options. But it's going to be very quick. So it's a left-footed kick. It's coming across, not quite enough. Mark will be taken.
You've got to be smart enough to know it's a 60-metre kick, not a 45.
Yeah, I think that one in that pocket, you just have to really lay that up to the top.
Yeah.
I think there's no way you're scoring that.
So Joel Dalglish, his kick was going straight to the boundary line, but it was just tapped before it went over.
Just a question for you boys. Do you feel like it's on Churnside Park's favour at this stage? We've had a good couple minutes here, and the defence of Whitehorse is really holding up strong here.
No, I definitely do. I think despite the scoreboard, I think it's actually Whitehorse who are more under the cosh at this stage of the third term.
Boundary.
As we go boundary side to Joe Beelan.
Yeah, I think Dirksen into the ruck has been a really good move. The Churnside have been getting on top of the clearances, and now we've seen the ball get stuck in this area of the ground before. This might become Churnside's favour given the clearance dominance.
Yeah, and they've been starved of territory for a lot of today, but now they can rule away. Can the Pioneers kick inside 50? One out. Was well defended there from the Panthers. Still a lot of work to do. Electing a bumper, getting truck sticked at that. Good work by Aaron Burt. Now they're going to bring it out. Virtue was around the footy. So too is McCormack. Kicks it to a Churnside defender. Virtue back in pursuit. That one won't quite go out in the full, will it? It's either out in the full or it's a mark. Either way, it will be McDougall to bring it back into play. Looks to the centre of the field. Kicks it straight to a yellow jumper in Bird, who's been very good, it must be said, since coming back on from that yellow card. And now they'll look to get the switch on. This is where Churnside Park have looked dangerous. Chaz Clevant gets it wide. A handball. Terrific defensive effort from Dalglish to get the spoil. But here's Camion. Camion gets it forward. Just overkicked the Cook. Overcooked the kick, I should say. Now they'll go. Leslie, left foot, get it forward, through hands. Dirksen on the right. He's got another. Churnside Park have another. It's their third straight.
That's what I was talking about, just that top of the square worked perfectly for him, just lowering those eyes, just not taking that wind and using it. That's a perfect kick.
Blake, what have we said all day? There's the switch and they get going down that far side and it works for them.
I just didn't know why they didn't want to use it that second quarter when the game was in the balance, heading in Whitehorse's favour. But boy, I feel like it's on Churnside's now. We saw the Whitehorse quarter last one. It's on Churnside
the Dirksen matchup means that he can roam, and Haining is not the type that's going to follow him everywhere.
So Haining's not in the ruck as we speak at the moment, so Young's in it at the moment.
Young wins the tap. Push forward by Fabris. He couldn't take it with him. Causey, hand pass shared off the back of the... Now the chain of hand pass will get back to Causey in the middle of East Ringwood Reserve. Takes on one, eludes one, hands it back to Dirksen, who was still there when the ruck contest was a moment ago. Long driving ball to the goal square. Can't get underneath it, Castledine. And it's out beyond him and in the pocket. Castledine pushes off his opponent and will just hold off from going boundary side for a second, guys, because it's in the scoring area for Churnside Park. They've kicked the last 3 goals. It was looking ominous one way. Now they've fought back with 3 goals. Punched down. Trying to get it was Clevant. Chaz couldn't get it. Now it goes out of defensive 40. Bully takes a tackle. This is big. And the Panther supporter base in the pocket. They're getting lively. They can sense a revival. And it's in the hands of Clevant. Josh has got it. Long driving ball to the top of the goal square. Where's the marker? Castledine doesn't get anywhere near it. And Ward puts himself in front of what might have been the pack coming at him. And he
really
took the mark.
There by Ward. Just knew where the ball was going to land.
So he goes long. He's just trying to ease the pressure by getting out of there. And he gets it as far as he can. Sim takes a fly at it to make a contest, and it's been punched out. And I reckon Whitehorse, they're looking a bit tired. More hands on hips by the Pioneers than the Churnside Park. They're up and about, are the Panthers. Whitehorse are sucking in the breath.
Well, I think they have to be, Gav. When you're behind, you've got to lift and you've got to find that response.
Here's the run of Clevant, goes through the middle of the pack, long driving ball, punch comes in, but it's still in dangerous territory. Picked off by Zanaro. He just clears it to the middle of East Ringwood Reserve. Who's going to be first there? Fabris was there, knocks it on. It's been knocked to the advantage of Prout. Prout goes into the Ewart. Ewart, what a spoil in defence by Thatcher. He's been strong late, and he's cleared it through his punch out. Now finds the runners, and on the outer side do go Churnside Park. Ficcarelli underneath it. What can the wily veteran, the coach, do? He's 1v1. Now it's 2-on-2, and Ficcarelli's been held up. And
Nice run on that far side there.
A lot's gone on in the last couple of minutes. Churnside, they're looking to push, but in every endeavour of pushing, they've got to be careful they don't get caught out the middle. The kick where that was cleared nearly fell the way of Whitehorse Pioneers, scoring on the rebound and then the counter-attack. Now it's going to be held out of side. We have time to go to our boundary riders for comment.
I've forgotten what I was going to say. It was a few minutes ago now.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, no worries.
There's a lot going on. Just if Churnside can get the next goal, Jared, I just think they're back in this game in a big way.
Well, it's the half-backmen at the moment who are really starting to generate some run, Sam Cannon included.
So a great bit of evasion there on true centre on the far side, but Whitehorse take the innocent mark. Very interested to see which team is going to choose to slow things down here. And it's very interesting to see, after all of this run and gun attitude from Churnside Park, getting themselves back into the game, will they still have the fuel tickets necessary to spend later on in this matchup? But it's the Pioneers just looking for a bit of uncontested footy, some few uncontested marks. Can just slow the play down a bit. It's still the Pioneers by 19. Looking inside to the corridor, mark taken by Jason Fabris. He'll just assess his options. So Whitehorse just slowing it down now. They did need to do that, and they're back in their skills and hitting targets well. I believe that's McDougall on the far side who's taking the mark. Another short option. So 5 or 6 just uncontested marks here. All options within about the 20 to 25 metre range. There's another one in the middle, which is Tom Young, and he takes the mark. Young will just go back to the sideline. So it's good what they're doing here, Whitehorse. It's what they needed to just take the sting out of the game a bit. Just take the bite out of the footy at the moment. Now they look inside forward 45. There was a flyer, and now it's hoofed out by the Panthers defence. Somehow the mark was taken, got one hand to it, then took it cleanly. Appealing for 50, won't get it. Maybe just giving a bit more time for his teammates to get forward. Sam King gets it inside forward 45. Mark taken, played on, dribbled, gold. Ficcarelli's finally put his stamp on this game as he kicks the major. That's goal number 37 on the season for Justin Ficcarelli. And just as it looked, the Whitehorse Pioneers were slowing the game down and taking the bite out of it with the uncontested chains. It took 3 kicks to get the ball from defensive 45 across the goal line.
Boundary.
Let's go boundary side.
Heining's back in the middle for this ruck contest, guys.
Yeah, this has been big. Dirksen, it has been coincidental, and Dirksen being the bigger body that can match and keep a 50-50 go at it. So Haining can't just charge at it. Ground level, Sim tries to help out Haining, but he took his time. The umpire said he didn't have possession because he dropped it like a sack of potatoes, hoping to get a free kick, and he got it his way. He finds out wide Carroll running onto it. Nice stretching mark by Patrick Carroll. He's trying to take some tempo at it, even though they're going forward, the Pioneers. Puts it to the pocket. Where's Horvath? Can't get to it. And it's now no mark for Whitehorse, but you just think they're happy with territory, because it's funny how momentum just makes you look tired when you're on the end of it. Everything looks a bit harder to do. Ball in, Dirksen v Horvath. Horvath pushes away, takes it out of the ruck, puts a high up and under. Young having his arm strung. The umpire doesn't want to call it his way. He appealed before the ball even got to him. Now the clearing kick bounces to Clevant. Chaz Clevant has got an over runner, and it's Castledine. Castledine's got an inboard runner. If he wants him in Causey, he'd take 2 bounces, maybe 3. It's a long, long, long run. It's nearly too long. It has to be too long. But he's minor score 1 point. It was about a 20-metre gap between the last bounce and the shot at goal from 45. I reckon he was getting tired before he kicked it.
Slightly selfish, I think. Yeah, you still need to lay that one up. A great run, and he did the hard work to get up to that point of the ground.
I think he just wanted the fans to be up with him. And the kick has been smothered by accident by the foot because it was such a worm burner. And they're putting themselves under pressure now, the Pioneers, not looking where the next kick's going.
And knowing where the wind, like you knew that as soon as you snap around, it's coming out to this side. They need to look for the centre in that pocket.
So it's in the hands of Bally.
Bally with a kick inside forward 45. There's a pack under it. Flying at the front and taking the mark is Sam Downey. Well, he's been down back for most of this game, but he pops up forward. It was 24 points the margin at halftime. It got out to 36 early. And now on the right boot of Sam Downey, he could be brought back to just 6. 45-degree angle, 25 metres out. Sam Downey, for what I believe would be the Panthers' 5th straight. It's there! Churnside Park are up and about. And they don't look like stopping anytime soon.
They'll be ruined though. Those 2 quick goals at the start of that third quarter. Otherwise, they would have been in front. So very disappointing from that start. But since then, from that 3-minute mark, they have turned it on.
Well, the Pioneers really need to calm themselves down here. We saw it was really 2 uncontested errors out of their own kick-in. So this centre clearance becomes absolutely crucial now. They need to get the footy forward.
5-goal quarter as we speak right now.
Haining wins the hit out, winning the foot race. There was Parsons. He was wrapped up though. Umpire puts his hands in the air, says play on. Amazing in this third term.
He really has. He's set him up, haven't they?
As Haining tapped it right out of bounds. We'll go boundary side of Jared Beanland for comment.
It's the Churnside Stars that have really started to fire. It's Cannon off the back. Chaz Clevant out of the middle has been excellent. The King brothers, as you mentioned, it's just the final piece of the puzzle is Jake Causey. As it's a deliberate freak out of bounds by the sounds of it.
It's because the ruckman has to tap it, not out on the full. You can't tap it out on the full from a ruck contest.
Righto, well the footy's in the hands of Trent Castledine. He tried to beat his man. His man was up to it though. 3v1 against Causey and coming over the top was the defence.
It's great by Thicker, really. He appealed to both umpires and said Haining's not allowed to just knock it out of bounds.
Yep.
And then they went to the boundary umpire and said, was it on the full from the tap? And he said, yes, it was.
So the footy's come back in for the boundary throw and Haining got 2 hands to it. He's been very much more nullified in this third term. We are nearing on 26 minutes played.
Also, apology, we don't have the stats. Premier Data's sort of gone down. It's obviously overload. Yeah. So we haven't got any stats at the moment. Hopefully we'll be back for the fourth quarter.
Haining in the ruck, wins the hit out. Ficarelli set upon the kick. Is it out of bounds on the full?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is.
So Dylan Coursey couldn't quite direct it enough.
Do you think Whitehorse or Churnside have to be in front at 3/4 time, considering the elements?
I think Churnside just be huge if they could come in from behind and win this.
I think for Whitehorse, they just have to try and get into 3/4 time, still in this lead. We knew that Churnside Park were going to bolster a push at some point, but it's imperative now for the Pioneers that they just get in while they're still in front, as there's 26.5 gone, then they can make some changes. It looked to be all Whitehorse at the start of this term, and since then it's been anything but, as Haining gets a handball out, looking to wheel away was Dylan Coursey, and he's wrapped up. Everything's coming up yellow, white and black at the moment at East Ringwood Reserve. Apart from the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they still trail by just 6 points after it getting to as much as 36 points. So 5 straight unanswered. A tackle there from Pat Carroll. Umpire calls for the footy. 27-20 gone, we're still ticking on. Haining and Dirksen in the ruck, they cancel each other out. There's Dylan Coursey again, wrapped up in the tackle, got the handball out. The Panthers need to get to it first, they'll do just that. He's fielding, looks inside, kick drop short, well taken mark. It's Carroll, that's Sam Carroll on this occasion. And he's more than willing to just slow the play down. They've tried to do the right thing here on multiple occasions, the Pioneers, by just slowing the footy down. But Churnside Park have just been unrelenting. Tackle laid, true centre wing just below us. As the ball goes up, Haining and Dirksen once more, they cancel each other out. Pat Carroll winning the roving work. There's Prout. He hasn't had much to do in that forward flank so far today, but sends it forward, or so far this quarter I should say. 2v2 at the back, mark taken. This could be massive if this goes through. For all the good work that Churnside Park have done. For Daniel Horvath to bring this mark down, he was heavily defended.
He's winded a little bit here.
He really needs to compose himself. He's only 10 metres out on a 45-degree angle, but geez, the Whitehorse need this.
Look for the celebration if he gets this one, boys. There'll be one coming.
He needs this to steady the ship. The Pioneers have been sailing in rocky waters ever since about the 5-minute mark of this quarter. Horvath, 10 out, 45-degree angle, siren, kicks, goals. Gee, it will go a long way. And breathe. The Whitehorse players can breathe. Just a second. They got absolutely belted for that majority of that third quarter. But the Horvath goal after the siren means that they go in still 2 goals to the good, and it's something that they can build off. Bendigo Bank scoreboard at 3/4 time reads Churnside Park 6-8-44, Whitehorse 8-8-56. Before we go away, we'll give you your goal kickers for today so far. For Churnside Park, in that massive effort in that quarter, Justin Ficcarilli with a single. Singles also to Sam Downey and Jared Dirksen, and the double to Trent Carseldine. And on the other side of things for the Whitehorse Pioneers, 2 to Anthony Sharp. Singles to Jason Fabrice, Daniel Horvath, Patrick Carroll, Sam Carroll, Harrison Prout and Adam Hewitt. We are going to have a break. When we return, we'll bring you the final quarter of action along with insight from the 3/4 time huddles from the coaches. At 3/4 time, it's the Pioneers holding on by 12 points.
On the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to East Ringwood Reserve, where it's Division 4 Grand Final Day. Churnside Park versus Whitehorse Pioneers. It was a 24-point margin in favour of the Pioneers. 2 quick goals in the third quarter established a 6-goal lead. Then 5 in a row for Churnside Park closed the gap. Goal on the siren to Horvath has pushed the margin back to 12 points. Justin Ficcarilli doesn't hold his troops for too long, and the large fan base of Churnside Park is leaving the field. But importantly, Whitehorse Pioneers for 20 minutes were under the pump, and the coach Andrew Haining has gone with a long message, and it's probably getting into the territory of inspiring his troops, because they almost have to go again. They know that Churnside Park, the team that have led the way on top of the ladder for the whole year, will come.
The stats are up, so I don't know whether they're just a delayed option or not. Last in that quarter, inside 50s, no surprise. Churnside 14 to Whitehorse 8. Hit out still wearing Whitehorse's advantage, but just couldn't use those clearances. Tackles, Whitehorse applied the tackling pressure 10 to 4, and there's a few more stats that I'll have a look at and get back to you.
Andrew?
And we'll go boundary side for interview.
Gentlemen, I've got Jeff Gallagher down here, the Whitehorse assistant coach. Andrew, impassioned speech at three-quarter time. What was the message?
I think it looks like we're not getting the audio that we require. It's just the way you're facing there, Jared. Sorry about that. It didn't quite work out from the point of view. If you can actually reiterate maybe with the half a minute, can you reiterate what was said just then?
Yeah, he wants to trust the small forwards. They also want to get it very deep. And just to keep going with what got them here, what got them this far. They know that Churnside Park's going to come out hard. They're the top reason, they're the top team all year for a reason. And work for each other as well. That was one of the big things, obviously, that Andrew Haining was big on during the address.
Okay, your callers today, Gavin Casey, Chris Cordis, and we are ready for a fourth quarter. Chris will take it away. It's a 12-point lead for the Pioneers.
Well, we heard that the third quarter is a premiership quarter and Churnside Park definitely got the better of it. So what do the Pioneers have in response? They've got 12-point buffer to work with, and immediately Edward Sim diving upon his opponent in mid-skiing and winning the free kick for holding the ball. Oh, it's a positive start.
He kept running back there.
Bit of a wronging off the cricket pitch, perhaps. As Sim will look for now, it's a deep entry. Young's the target, got two hands to it, pops out the back. Sharp's already got two for today. Couldn't quite get that one to get to the boot. Here's Chaz Clevan. Clevan looks out. Belly's underneath it, got one hand to it. Now he goes again. Did he get the handball off? Umpire says yes. Sim looking for the footy. Jay Fabris got absolutely crunched. There's a few afters here as well. And the umpire would just call for the ball up. It was quite a sizable amount of contact going the way of Jason Fabris.
Yeah, Fabris copped Dirkson's knee to the ribs by the looks of it.
So play will continue. Haining gets to it. Now gives it to Fabris. Fabris gets a kick off. Holding free kick, going the way of Haining. There's a bit of feeling in this one now. Haining and Dirksen.
I think Dirksen is becoming physical beyond what's allowed.
Just exchanging some tricks of the trade, I assume. Just asking, gee, how do you go about your artwork? Oh, I do this, I do this. So sure, everything's friendly in there. Haining will get the footy back. Dirksen, I have to say, has matched him since he's gone in the ruck.
Has, but just needs that composure. Don't give away silly free kicks.
So Haining gives the handball off to a teammate. It's Savvy. Savvy goes forward. It was punched from Sam Downey. Sharp around the footy. Can he get to it? He's got it in hands. Gee, he just dropped it. Umpire calls play on. Virtue now wrapped up in the tackle. And the umpire still calls play on. Dylan Corsi now gets a handball out. They've got this near side to work with through the hands of Dirksen. Now Ficcarilli's got the footy. He's got Belly with him. Goes to the ground. No one's gone to Ficcarilli. Ficcarilli's got the ball. Gives it to Dirksen. Short chip kick. Intercept mark taken. Was it 15? Yes, it was.
Just rush that one then, Dirksen.
So a chance to calm play down for the Pioneers. As I look to use the near side wing, it's Sharp again. Off the hands of Patrick Carroll. Horvat gives it to Pat Carroll. Carroll inside forward 45. Tom Young's there, one out. He's gone to ground. Dylan Corsi to spare there. He's been terrific in defensive 45 so far, Corsi. Feints left, steps into the right, goes wide and finds a target on the far side wing.
So the switch is on. Looking at all options. Here's Cannon. Been good today. Short back to Corsi, who's running around without a man, it seems. And on the outer side, he's put his hands up and he's declaring his options. Gets it to his teammate in Josh Clevan. Now a long ball. The numbers suit Pioneers. Might bounce the way for the Pioneers. Bending over Castle. Hand passes instead of the shot. Kick around the corner. Flying shot. Missed. And Churnside, they're looking dangerous once they get inside 50.
Handy point too, by the way, boys.
Oh, let's not get into that territory. There's only 25 more minutes before we get there. But it's a minor score, 11-point margin. Yes, it is handy. 6-9. Any score's a good score. Yes. 6-9-45 to 8-8-56. Whitehorse
Just
leading.
saying, if they do get a couple more, could be very handy.
So on the far side wing here, the umpire's called a holding free kick. So the Panthers with a chance to pump the ball back inside forward 45. And they'll do just that. Underneath the footy was Thatcher. It went over him. Rising highest. Ward's around the footy too. They'll go backwards to go forward. Skeen steps into the right. Shrugged the tackle. Still going. His kick was spoiled. Or smothered, I should say. Ward gets it off. Dalglish wrapped up in the tackle. And the umpire will call for the ball up.
What Churnside want is that first goal, not obviously have Whitehorse do what they did in that third quarter. They've come out firing every quarter, Whitehorse, so it's Churnside's time.
Haining wins the hit out, gets it to Ed Sim. Sim goes one further. I believe it's McDougall on the far side wing. He finds a target. He's going past for the handball receive. Won't quite get it, but instead he'll get the chip over the top. He can't quite see it. Now he gets it. McDougall steps inside, gets a handball off to Sharp. Anthony Sharp started this fourth term well. Tom Young, one out, furthest forward. Furton to ground. Pat Carroll's got the footy. Can he produce a moment of magic? Carroll, dribbling kick. Won't quite come across. It's just in a space. It'll be a foot race. Who wants it more? Matt King's going to win it at the moment, but he's heavily pursued. He's got the man in support, and it's out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in the forward pocket of the Whitehorse Pioneers.
It wasn't a fast foot race if you're talking about
I think
it was a stroll. It was a stroll.
Yeah. I think he was deciding Whitehorse play wanted him to get it so he could tackle, and Churnside didn't know whether he wanted to keep it in or let it go out.
So it's in Pioneers area. Couldn't get to the foot to the ball from Sharp. Clearing kick. Now there's some tired troops around it, but Ficcarelli's got energy. The coach, he wants this. He hands it off to his teammate. Well, nicely got in board by Skeen. Hadn't tackled, but got hand pass off. Clevant gets it around the corner. Does Chaz, and his kick finds his teammate. Thatcher move forward. So Thatcher now at centre forward. Looks from the left flank. Got an inboard. Beautiful pass to the top at the point of the square. Finds Clevant. Long ball by Josh. Can't get it to the intended, and again chopping in front, and a timely interception by Fabris. He goes out wide to Carroll. He's been everywhere. Patrick Carroll, he might look in. He does go into the back of the centre square, and he finds Carroll. This time it's Sam Carroll. So they're waxing well of the Carroll boys. Now going out wide, hoping just to use the territory to their advantage. Downey at ground level. Tries to spoon off a hand pass to the runner. Trying to get around. Now he does. Good work by Cannon. And it goes out wide, but not kept in. And they're trying to get everything going, the Churnside Park team. But they need to be a lot cleaner going forward.
Is there someone over the fence?
Boundary.
Let's go to Jared Beanland.
Jason Fabris has been working really hard back. He's still playing that on-ball role, but he's taken a couple of intercept marks. It just shows his defensive capacity.
Haining front position. Dirksen pushes off. Tries to get a kick and goal, but it went sideways. No mark taken by the teammate. Ground level. Flying shot. It's another miss. They're not great looks, but they're looks at goal for Churnside Park early in this quarter. Causey was getting pushed off balance, and he was missed everything as he went out left because the wind took it once the ball was going to miss. Long ball out of defence. Under the pumper, Whitehorse Pioneers, Belly in good position. Got a lot of support at ground level. It might not bounce the way of Harper. He shouldn't get his foot to the ball with the kick. So it's a disputed ball at half forward. We'll have a ball up, and really Whitehorse are hanging on by the seams of it. They've got an 11-point advantage. They've got the wind advantage, you would think, but it seems like they're holding on because Haining keeps standing tall. Causey chops off the hand pass forward by Haining, takes on the tackle of Sharp, and Causey just said, I got tackled high there, and the umpire's got not too much sympathy for him as he hands the ball back to him, brushing off some perspiration from his face is Causey. Rucks go at it, ground level ball. Is Causey in and around? Fabris has been good in tight. He's been holding up a lot of forward forays, and he's been doing well. The tired Whitehorse Pioneers, they're not looking like they've got as much energy as they did early in that third term. Dirksen pushes off, but he was facing out of bounds, and his kick went straight there, and it went to the Whitehorse bench, who are loving that. It's out on the full. It's a free kick to the Pioneers, and they're not in a hurry. All signs suggest that they're tiring.
Yeah, they are, but also just take that momentum away from Churnside at the moment. The stats have been really even, disposals 230 to 219, similar kicks and handballs. Probably the only one sort of difference is that hit outs.
Haining, Dirksen in the ruck. Haining wins it, gets it off to Fabris. High kick, it will stay in bounds for now, just bounce and then go at a right angle. So we'll have a boundary throw in.
Just watch Bird here, boys. He's coming off. He's just running it out here.
Yeah, big proppy.
Yeah.
So we'll have a boundary throw in, some 65 metres out from the Pioneers' goal. Haining in the ruck, Dirksen in the ruck. Haining got it off to Pat Carroll. Carroll's kick spiralling high and just falls into the hands of Bird, but it's a holding free kick. That will go the way of Whitehorse. And now this is a big kick again for Hewitt. He's already got one for today, so take a fair effort. And in fact, it almost looks like from his body language, he's assessing options. He has Anthony Sharp calling for it in the pocket, but that wouldn't be wise given the angle that he's on. So Adam Hewitt will shoulder the responsibility. Kicking from 45 out on a 45-degree angle. It's Hewitt. Kicks on its way off the instep. Still live. Tom Young flew and grabbed it. Tom Young with a massive mark. As Aaron Bird is now limping his way off the field. But for now, all attention is on the number 12 purple jumper in Tom Young. Is it purple? Is it maroon? What do we call that, boys? Maroon? Okay, we'll go maroon.
I wanted to go earlier.
We'll go maroon. We'll go maroon. So Tom Young.
We're glad you asked.
Now, this is a very big kick in the context of it. They're 11 up. They've been under the cosh for quite some time now. This would push it out to 17, make it a 3-kick game. Young from about 15 out, little to no angle. On the right boot, it's on its way, it's through, the double coppers are up. And so are the Pioneers fans. Whitehorse pushed the margin back out to 17.
Yeah, well, you talk about first blood there of the quarter, of course, and the Whitehorse Pioneers get that going. So now it's over to Churnside now, boys. If they want it more, this is what it comes down to. Jared?
Do you guys think that Adam Hewitt was setting it up? It looked like a pretty poor kick, unintended.
It was unintended, but the smart forward is always in front.
So Churnside weren't expecting that in that case.
Not at all. Dirksen and Haining, they really two sumos push at each other. No win, but can it go out wide? King runs onto it. Can he tap it to himself? He does. He dodges the wrong way. He could have gone forward. Hand passes us back to Bally. Now the long ball. Where's Causey? Hasn't had much looks. 2 bites at it. Whistle. It's a marking contest free. That will go the way of the Churnside Park. As underneath it, he had all eyes on it and he had people grappling at him when he tried to mark it. But Castledine will pick up the ball and shoot for his third.
Must kick goal here. He's got to kick this.
11 minutes gone in this fourth quarter, 17-point margin. The deficit looks big in terms of what we've seen happen before, but we know Churnside Park have got X-Factor people, and this is one of them. Castledine from 45. He's having the big shot. He's put it right post. It's bending! You beauty, he says. And Churnside Park close it back to 11. Are they good enough? They've been good all year. Are they good enough today to get back this margin?
Well, you asked that, Gav, as well, but that's the response we needed from Churnside there. But again, it's up to them now. They've been a benchmark team all year round. Can they do it on the big stage?
Boundary.
It's a 3-goal quarter, I reckon, going to Churnside, I reckon, if they want to win.
We'll go boundary side to Oscar Luca.
That northeasterly wind has now dropped off to a 28 mile per hour.
Is this off an app?
Wind.
Is this off an app, Oscar? Or?
Nah, just got
his finger.
I've got the finger out, guys.
Oh, jeez.
You mean 28 miles or Ks?
Haining wins the hit out. They're just having a forward here through Sam Carroll and wrapped up. And has to be said, how quick was that response from the Panthers? As soon as they dropped to 17 behind, get it straight back. As the ball goes up, Haining wins the hit out. Only as far as number 24 there in the Churnside Park jersey, which we don't have on our team sheet. Xavier Leslie just spins out, and now Houston onto the left foot. Goes inside forward 45. Corsi playing out the front. Won't quite get to him. Ficurelli doing the crumbing. Running past his belly. Has the footy in hand. Short option wide and finds him. Sam King. They built their push off this man in the third quarter. They'll look to him again for another big moment. It looks like he's setting up. But there are Panthers circling the goal square as the kick will go across the face. It's going to drop short. Who's up to it? Footy will drop. Castledine's got it in hands. Now turns tackler. Calls for ball will go on, will fall on deaf ears. And we'll have a ball up just on the top of the goal square.
24 is McGee, lads.
Thank you very much for that, Jared. There's a massive chance for the Panthers here. The Pioneers defence need to be on high alert. It was given a Ficurelli, couldn't quite keep. We'll have another ball up. $11 points to margin, nearly 14 gone. A massive chance for the Panthers to get another one here. Haining just plucks it out the ruck, just pushes it forward with the two hands. High tackle. Free kick awarded to Thomas Connell. And a massive relief, a massive release of pressure there for the Pioneers defence. Ficurelli a bit sore afterwards. And this kick long, high and up the wing, and it will get out the back. Leslie, it's in the hands of Downey now. He sends it forward. Ficurelli standing under it. Fist from Dunn, got it clear. Now handballed. Fielding on the left at goal, and it's going to go wide and out of bounds on the full.
Boundary.
Boundary side, Jared.
Great defensive effort by Dunn. He's just faded out of the game a little bit. Was on-sighted during that third quarter by my books.
They've got them penned in to Churnside Park. Reynolds goes for the fly, can only go the tap down. All Whitehorse at ground level, one of them being Parsons, gets it off to Sharp. Now they're running, one more hand pass from McDougall forward. Young's in the possession, but he couldn't take on tacklers, so it might be a turnover. Parsons has something to say about it, gives it back to Young, but it's tight. There's a lot of numbers, there's no room to move. You've got to be creative to break free, and no one could. But it was exciting to see the hand passes from Whitehorse Pioneers. Just couldn't get that one release.
Tackles 43 to 42, so even around all stoppages.
And the tackles are in the ruck contest too. Haining versus Dirksen, another tackle applied. Ball up, centre of East Ringwood Reserve. And it's an 11-point game. They're pushing Churnside Park, but have they not got enough goals when they had the wind advantage? Certainly not in the first. The third, they kicked 5 without reply, but that late goal might have helped Whitehorse Pioneers settle the nerves. Kick goes forward off the ground by Carroll, but it's been picked off by Cannon. He goes long and wide. Castledine, he went the wrong way, trying to push off his opponent, allowed his opponent to get the kick in. Now the long ball, Horvath's underneath it. The big punch by Downey makes 30, but it falls back into the arms of Carroll. He takes on the tackle, walks out of it. Kerr it was, he got the hand pass off. Now the holding the ball was called for by Churnside Park. They're calling for everything. They need the ball in hand, but they're tackling for their life at the moment.
Just got a couple of scores as while we're going to break. Roval, they look like they're going to go to a prelim final, 50 to 29 over East Ringwood. And then in Division 1, it's South Belgrave 78 to North Ringwood 65.
Is that straight sets again for East Ringwood?
And South Belgrave, not South Belgrave, sorry.
And it's gone forward for Churnside Park. Can they take a mark inside 50? Thatcher got underneath it. Punch went against him. Ground level, they're hurried the ball out. Now it might bounce their way. Whitehorse, can they go coast to coast? Long ball, mark taken, good stretch. And looking for short options, it's Virtue. He's got one out wide. And so from 45, it'll take a big kick. But it will be a shot at goal. If anything, just take some tempo out of the game and time off the clock. Whitehorse having a shot from 45 metres, and it will be a game clincher if this goes through. It doesn't get the journey. High up and under. Churnside got a lot of numbers back. Downey was one of the defenders who stood up tall to knock it out. And it goes out of bounds in the pocket. Boundary side, Jared.
Speaking of Downey, Gav, he was in an impact that I heard from all the way over here on the boundary line. He stayed out there. He was obviously hurting so much, but got himself to that contest. And, well, it's a grand final.
Yeah, he's hard as nails. He's defending for his life because their premiership would rely on not conceding a score, in my opinion. There's 18 minutes gone, his final term. A whistle will go out of the contest against Dirksen again. He's just been errant with his aggression in this fourth quarter, and Virtue is not what he holds because he's given the free kick to Virtue.
It's just not needed on a grand final, especially in the dying stage. It's like he's just been undisciplined.
He hands it off Virtue. Runner coming from Savvy. This will be Savvy if it goes through. Oh. No, just dropped short.
I had the hands up, ready to do that.
That would have been potentially a premiership cleanse-up, but it's still a 12-point game as we approach time on in this last quarter.
I think he's doing the right thing, Joe Dirksen. You've got to bring physicality when you're playing against someone as good as Andrew Haining, but it's got to be controlled. You know, you can't let it simmer over the top and boil over like it has done a few times. But now the Panthers with the ball on the far side wing. They'll look to use the middle of their defensive 45 again. Belly's peeling off as Leslie's got on the left boot. Burt's just standing under, and gee, how about that for a telegraph kick if ever you've seen it. Burt now has a handball option over the top, eventually sees him, gets it to Belly, who's been so good on the footy so far for Churnside Park. They look long underneath it as a defender for Whitehorse is Connell. Connell just running to the boundary line and he's more than happy to get over. Just about got away from Mac Brownfield.
So Haining back on at the moment.
So we assume he'll close this game out. Haining against Dirksen in the ruck. It's been a fascinating ruck duel. I almost wish we had it for longer than just the second half that we have now. Haining wins on this occasion. Plenty of players go at it. Dylan Corsi's one of them. Looking to bring it out his Brownfield. Got on the left boot. Ficurelli the target. Ficurelli will get there. Look to turn. He's out of bounds. Chaz Clevant just in the centre wing here in front of us. Looks to be suffering from a bit of cramp.
The goose step, just if he had some room there.
Yeah. He knew what he wanted to do.
One on there by Connell there, especially in the late stages on Ficurelli there. One on there by Connell.
So Haining in the ruck. He'll just grab this one after discarding of Dirksen. Gets it high. Proud standing under it. So to his Reynolds. Foot hit the deck. Horvath tapped it to himself. Gets it forward. Tom Young's got space to go. He's got Cannon behind him though. Will it sit up? It won't. He kicks it off the ground. Young against Cannon. Who's going to get there? Cannon hunts him down. Well chased, young man. Oh, and it's not holding the ball.
I almost think he tackled him too hard. The umpire was going to pay it, and then he was like, do I pay against him?
Yeah,
and he said, I'll just blow the ball up.
He had the two arms pinned. It was almost...
That's where the umpire
They almost cancelled each other out,
correct.
didn't they?
That's correct.
He sort of stops because he got in there, did the second action, and they look at that, the umpires. And
I think he didn't want to pay the tackle against him, but he was going to pay holding the ball.
Well, there was two blokes just going hell for leather at the footy, which is what we love to see. Tom Young's up, he's okay. Horvat in the ruck against Leslie, bounces off him. Horvat has it, now turns tackler. Almost handed the ball to his opponent just to tackle him. And we'll have a ball up, 35 out from the Pioneers uprights. We're into time on here in the Division 4 decider. It's the Pioneers by 12, wrapped up in a tackle. The umpire will call for it again, just inside the 45-metre arc.
Big moment this. They've got to defend for big here. Do Churnside. Haining in great position to take it out of the ruck. Kick goes forward. Is there a marker? Down is the puncher. Burt's going to be underneath it. Sharp gets it on the bounce. It tackles, takes on the tackle. It kicks around the corner. Is it bouncing towards goal? There's no kick from Young that gets his boot to ball. And it does eventually be knocked over by the defence. And it's a big minor score, Blake Tennant, because that makes the margin 13.
We got there eventually.
DeAndre.
Jared.
Whitehorse have played man-on-man, one-on-one defensively most of the quarter. Sam Ward's now dropped back.
What a one-handed grab there from Belly. Just reeled it in with the right. We'll play on, just to take territory with the kick. There's plenty under it. One of them is Ward for Whitehorse, and he stands tall, Mitch Ward. He's been one of the more silent contributors throughout that defensive line, but he's done well to take the mark there. Chips it, finds McDougall. McDougall played on straight away. I think he thought he was touched. 4v1. Gee, got over the top of Downey. Not sure if he lost it in the sun or something like that. Burt now tackles Horvat. One of the more polite tackles you'll see today. Just got him over the boundary line. Made sure he didn't end up over the fence, though.
I think he was tempted to throw him over the fence.
Just the way the feeling's been today.
So the boundary throwing comes in. We're going on to 22 and a half gone in this fourth term. Downey around it. So to his Sharp, who's been big in this fourth quarter. He falls on the footy. Dylan Corsi's been massive all game. And the umpire will call for the footy.
I've loved the composure from Whitehorse. Like, Churnside has obviously come with fight in the third quarter and then obviously out in this fourth quarter, but they've held strong so far.
That's exactly right.
Have they maybe, spent the petrol tickets early on in the quarter, maybe last quarter? Is that how we feel?
We'll see how that turns out. Dirksen discarded again by Haining. This time it's Burt wrapped up in a tackle.
And they won't mind the stoppages either down there forward.
Not at all, as we're in 23 gone. As there's a shot sent goalward and it's gone for behind.
So Roval are into a prelim final, boys, as well. East Ringwood in straight sets, unfortunately.
Fair, gee, you wouldn't have picked that a few weeks ago, would you? That's very, very surprising.
Goes to the wing, done underneath it. Ground level, Ficcarelli. He's too far away from goal to set the light to Churnside Park. But they need some run off the next contest because time is evaporating from their season. Potentially 5 minutes away from a Pioneers premiership. 13-point advantage. Hand passes releases the opposition. So it's gone long by Clevant. Goes long into the forward line. No marker for the Panthers. And Ward again at ground level. Stands up tall. Long ball to Haining. Goes with one hand. He might be tired. Big effort. Dirksen takes on Haining. The tackle. Haining's got him. Haining's got him. Big moment from the coach of Whitehorse Pioneers. He saw Dirksen and he said, if I stick this, might be the game. And Haining, he's got the ball to his chest and he's got a heart of a big, big man.
His jersey's nearly been ripped to shreds as well.
What an effort today by the leader of the club. Long ball as he hand passed, got it to Carroll, but the clearing kick falls in the hands of McGee. McGee's got to get up in a hurry and get it going for Churnside Park. Little time as they trail by 13. Bally kick receive on the wing. Looks inside. He's trying to run into open space before he kicks. The kick wasn't intended for Downey, but he was in the way. Now it's going to be marked inside 45. Can't take your time, can Castledine. He's got to get the score. It has to be a goal if they're a chance. 13-point margin, 45. Long ball. It's a goal.
Oh, what's a kick?
Castledine didn't muck around, and goal number 4 has kept this game alive.
That might be his best one yet.
It's a 7-point game with only minutes to go. They've been under the pump all day, but can they surge late?
Boundary.
And Castledine's fourth is huge. Let's go boundary side.
Sam Downey's limping, but he's staying on the field. He's now moved from the back line to the forward line, so he's, I don't know, he doesn't have to do as much, I guess.
We need Brash with his clock to let us know how long's left.
Well then, over 25 and a half gone. How's your bottle for both sides? The margin's 8 points. Haining in the ruck, wins the hit out. It's going to fall to Sam King, reeling away, tackled. The Pioneers can win it out the middle. An absolutely crucial spoil from Leslie. It's going to come to Belly, just absorb the contact from Ed Sim.
Had the two running over on this close side of the wing.
Yeah, if he
just took the tackle on.
Yeah, he didn't know it was the wrong decision.
No.
Maybe a bit of self-preservation there as Sim was bearing down. Haining wins the tap. They get it forward. Big hit, but it doesn't matter. Whitehorse picked up the script, read it, and then took to it with a lighter. They could not care that the Churnside Park Panthers were the benchmark team all season. It is the Whitehorse Pioneers that will be playing their footy in Division 3 in season 2026. The Bendigo Bank scoreboard reads 9-11-65 to Churnside Park's 8-9-57. An absolutely gargantuan result for the Whitehorse Pioneers. They are premiers.
And how poignant that everyone's running to Haining.
Yeah.
The coach was huge today, and there's no small part that the coach was one of the best players for the Pioneers in a premiership. What a day by the big man, and the Pioneers might have upset, but they won't worry about that. The premiers for 2025 in Division 4 is the Whitehorse Pioneers.
It's a massive result for them. Huge, obviously, to stand up as underdogs, and you love to do it, you love to show it. So they'll bring that all into next year, and obviously that belief that goes with it. But yeah, like you said, Hayden's just been massive. 54 hit-outs to 23, so it was a massive domination in the centre there. It was probably just, they were fortunate that they probably just didn't get their clearances in tune with his hit-outs. Churnside were able to sort of hold that. But we go
boundary side of Joe Beelan.
Andrew, mate, it was a battle. Your shirt's torn. You had a juggernaut of an opponent all day. What does it feel like, mate?
I'm just so proud of this team, this footy club. Like we got relegated 2 years ago, stiff. I reckon, didn't deserve to get relegated. We've come back. A lot of teams go back and fall apart, but we've stayed together. This is a family club. I mean, it sucks that the Twos don't get to feel this, but they've been such a fantastic team all season, so I'm sorry for the Twos. But I spoke to my boys today, and I just sort of said, like, the club gets us to this point today, and it's the 22 that play that are the 22 that are going to get it done. And so we were just... all our focus was to be the best teammate we could be and just absolutely battle. We knew we could beat Churnside Park. We had no shadow of doubt regardless of what's happened all season. We knew if we played our best football, which we did today, we would end up winning, and we did. So I couldn't be prouder of this team, of this footy club. Let's enjoy the night and let's reset for next year, eh?
Mate, you said something quite poignant at the huddle that would think that they're fitter than you guys, and you said fitness is in here. You point to your heart. How does that resonate with you now?
Oh, well, that just showed. The boys absolutely fought at the end of that quarter. Like Churnside, they battled all day, but I think we just had heart. We were just more switched on. We played for each other, so it doesn't matter how fit you want to be. If you play for other and your best team out there, you're going to win.
Thanks for your time, Andrew. Beautiful.
Well, there's a point, doesn't he? He said they had heart, and they got out to the lead early on in that first half, and then it was just nothing but them being asked questions of how they were going to stand up for the rest of the match, and they did it absolutely astonishingly.
So, Chris, you talk about a lead. At 2 goals in the third term, established a 6-goal lead early in that third term. They were going against the prevailing wind. 5 goals in a row by Churnside, but you thought they had to be in front. They had to be in front at 3/4 time if they were a chance. But I think what he was suggesting was it took more than momentum. It took guts just to hold off Churnside Park.
That's it, yeah, and that's sort of probably the point I did make as well.
Andrew.
As we go boundary side.
I got Jason Fabris, mate. We spoke to you during the week, and you said you'd be naive to not think you're underdogs. You proved that an underdog story is possible.
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, like you come into it, dogs. We always had belief. We never lost belief. You know, it's we always knew that if we played our best footy, we could compete. And yeah, we never lost hope, and I think that's the main thing. Because once you lose hope, you're gone. So you just have to believe, because you know it's anything's possible. So you know, we've seen teams go undefeated all year, never look like losing, only to lose on the final hurdle. So just the best.
And what does it mean for yourself, mate? The club's looked after you, as we heard during the week. I'm sure it would be a great feeling for yourself personally.
Yeah, to be honest, I always wanted to be that guy who was around the club, who was really respected, and I bleed for this club. It's a real honour to be the captain, and I wanted nothing more than to be a premiership captain. And this will beat any individual honour that you'll ever receive. It's just means so much, and all the people out there that come and hug you that don't have the Whitehorse jumper on. It's that's.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jason.
So Chris and Scott, there was some huge moments where he took marks, intercepting balls, marks, hands. I reckon he was a huge factor in that last quarter for them holding off, leading as the skipper.
Yeah, you got it, and that's just shown in both those two leaders that we've spoken about, and that is what drives a club. And like we're saying, they both sort of said, that belief in playing your best footy, and people talk about playing your best footy on a certain day. Well, no better putting your best footy on display than in a grand final, and they definitely did that today, and they should be very proud of themselves.
And obviously, boys, we have to say a lot of the talk that we've heard so far from the players has been about, the heart that it takes and the guts that it takes. I want to shout out this defence that Whitehorse put on today, because I was doing my research on it earlier in the week, and I had a look at it and went, oh geez, they're ranked 6th out of a 7-team competition. They're coming up against a team that has a guy that's kicked 70 goals, a guy that's kicked 36, a guy that kicked 5 on him in the semi. This is going to get ugly. And I'll be honest, boys, when the rain started coming down earlier today, I thought, well, maybe that's their only hope, is that the rain will come down.
But who are we talking about? Connell?
Connell, I want to talk about Connell. I want to talk about Joel Savvy. I want to talk about Joel Dalglish. I mean, if you look at it, Savvy played on Jake Causey all day today, it felt like. All day. 70 goals on the season.
And how many touches did Jake have? I don't reckon it was more than a handful.
He had maybe 2 clean ones.
Yeah.
And he was just there. And it was even guys just coming over the back. It was Nelson. It was, even though Dunn had a much quieter game than we've seen him have in past times that we've done Whitehorse games. Just moments. There were moments where it was the one player they had to go back with the flight of the ball, or they had to just leave their opponent and make some kind of contest with the footy up the ground, and they just did it, and they did it brilliantly.
And Mitch Ward, you were talking about some of the ejection off half back in that second half was credit to him, because I think he realised the moment is the inside. What was the second half inside 50s count? Can we break it down?
Oh, you might be testing me there.
Oh, sorry.
But hang on, give me my number. So you want the inside 50s for the second half?
Yeah, well, just overall, because we know they were being won by Whitehorse in the first half, but I feel like at times they were under the pump.
The inside 50s was actually equal. It was 38-38 from that point of view, but I'll get back to you on as to what happened in the second half.
Well, that means I think obviously Churnside Park had more inside 50s, and the fact that they only kicked 1 goal in the first half, game over really, in terms of they were nowhere near, they never looked like hitting the front. Then that's what they needed to be in front by 3/4 time.
About 14 inside 50s for that second half for Whitehorse. That's what they sort of put up on the board. But yeah, and generally like the stats overall were probably with disposals, kicks, all leading sort of Churnside's favour, but not by much at all. It was very tight in all stats throughout most of today. Marks, contested marks 13 to Whitehorse, 7 to Churnside. Uncontested marks 40 to Churnside, 36 for Whitehorse. As we go boundary side.
We were talking about the defence just then. The general Joel Dalglish is with me, mate. We heard from up in the box then that you guys are ranked 6th out of in defence out of the 7-team competition, and you stood up. Yeah. I know, surprising, right? But you stood up today. Connell, Ward, yourself, Savvy. How does it feel?
Oh, it's amazing. Flags are what we play footy for. So.
Can we please have all patrons please walk over to the presentations, please?
I don't know. Maybe if you look at I reckon the last month, 2 months, we've been playing really good footy. And I don't know, maybe we'll get stats for that month, and maybe we'll be ranked 2nd or 1st. I don't know, but yeah, I'm proud of the back 6.
Sorry to put that on you.
Back 7. We've had a great year, and just proud of all the boys. So the whole club as well. It's great.
Sounds like the ceremonies are starting. Well done, mate.
Thank you so much.
Maybe just before we get into the ceremony, we do have to say commiserations to Churnside Park. As good as it is in sport to get caught up in an underdog story, I'm sure that a lot of us will be going home today, and when you really think about it, we'll be scratching our heads thinking, how have they not gotten over the line today in the premiership?
Just one stat. Just hardball gets. So 26 for Whitehorse to 10 for Churnside. So that's a decent effort around the contest. Obviously diving in where they could, and like I said, showing that art.
I was optimistic watching the videos, actually, like you would have been watching the videos, that they got off to a great start in the semi. It meant that they could win in the core of the contest.
Churnside Park, can we please walk over for the presentations,
and
please?
Today, they seemed to dominate the way of going forward. They were just better at going forward. And it showed in the end on the scoreboard. The fact that they won on the scoreboard is attributed to the fact that they just in the open play were a little bit cleaner.
That's exactly right. So we're just waiting for the patrons to get settled so we can get into our post-match proceedings.
And I think also just cleaner, on the ground as well, because really it marks inside 50, 6 for Churnside, 5 to Whitehorse. So again, very similar for the scoring and stuff. But yeah, it's obviously just finding those little ones. And it felt like, in that first half, they just sort of got a good understanding of sort of, where the ball was going to land, how they were going to kick it towards goal, etc.
So, Masters of Ceremony, Blake Tennant, who's did some great work, isn't he, mastering?
If they don't get over soon, he's going to go over and smack every one of them over upside the head.
And I am actually scared for them, because he's a...
The tone
The
changed.
tone was... Yes, yes. Thank you. He's doing well, though. I'm glad. He's actually done a great job in the last few years as this part of it.
He
So
has.
really,
I think he's embraced the MC role that we've given him a few times.
To the Eastland 2025 Division 4 Senior Grand Final presentations. Commiserations to Churnside Park benchmark team. Fortunately, not your day today. And to Whitehorse, redemption is complete. Premiers in 2025. Right on to Whitehorse. We'll start now by inviting EFNL CEO Jai Bond to present today's medallions. The Division 4 Best On Ground medal, otherwise known as the Colin Tainton medal, awarded to the player Best On Ground. And the Colin Tainton medal for the Best On Ground from Whitehorse, the coach, number 3, Andrew Hayning. Start the medal presentations with number 2, Anthony Sharp. Number 5, Daniel Horvat. Number 6, Michael McDougall. Number 7, Patrick Carroll. Number 8, Caleb Parsons. Number 9, Mitch Ward. Number 10, Peter Cenaro. Number 11, Ed Sim. Number 12, Tom Young. Number 16, Matt McCormack. Number 17, Joel Dalgleish. Number 18, James Nelson. Number 19, Tom Dunn. Number 22, Sam Carroll. Number 24, Jacob Vertu. Number 30, Tom Cunnell. Number 32, Harry Prout.
Number 39, Joel Savvy. Number 63, Tom Kerr. Number 67, Adam Hewitt. The trainer, Alla Johnston. Alla Johnson. The other trainer, Sam Sinagi. Team manager, Cameron Webb. The runner, Dan Bonnet. Assistant coach, Sam Benson. Assistant coach, Jeff Gallagher. And now, Premiership captain, number 1, Jason Fabris. Jason, please stay on the stage. And the Premiership coach, the best on ground medal, Andrew Haining. Andrew, say a few words.
To Churnside Park, you guys have been the top team all year, so we had great battles, 5 battles I think we've had. You guys got a few of them, we got a few of them. All the best for next year. I'm sure you guys will be the team to beat next year as well, so all the best. Couldn't be prouder. This is a family club. We might not be the biggest club, but we know every single person within our footy club, and everyone gets around each other. Commiserations, obviously, to our reserves team who put up a great battle in 30 years. So hold your heads up high, boys. We're proud of you as a footy club for how far our reserves program has come. But let's celebrate this flag, hey? All right.
Let's invite Jai Bod back to the stage to deliver to the Eastland Division 4 Premiers, Whitehorse Pioneers.
We are the boys of the Boxer Pioneers. We'll strive for victory that takes 1,000 years. In maroon and white we'll meet our plight. In victory or defeat, we are the mighty Pioneers. Play the game of boys and always play the ball. Victory is our aim, so play to victory's call. Play hard, we'll achieve another premiership. We are the mighty Pioneers. Boxer Pioneers, we'll We'll strive for victory if it takes 1,000 years. In maroon and white, we'll meet our plight in victory or defeat.
The mighty Pioneers. There's a song plays in the background because the premiers for 2025 Division 4, the Whitehorse Pioneers. What a great day for this club. Inspired by the coach Andrew Haining, and well led and by Jason Fabris, the captain of Whitehorse Pioneers. They held the cup aloft and the players got on the podium and have celebrated it. Scott Hardy's with me, Gavin Casey here in broadcast. It's an upset, but it's always good to see the winners they wholeheartedly deserved, because they fought every battle they needed to fight. And they were ahead in the scoreboard when it mattered, especially coming into the last quarter. To have a lead with the wind advantaging them in the last quarter, they did beautifully to hold off Churnside Park.
I think just that, that response from that first bounce, and just, what they hit the ground running with, and it was probably a little bit of a shock to Churnside, and obviously for us we're sort of calling it, saying we're thinking Churnside, and I obviously picked them for 24 or whatever, but just the response, and like I said, that best footy, it is good footy, and they believed in themselves as well, which is the most important part.
So at quarter time, Whitehorse Pioneers led by 8 points, 1-4-10 to 2 behinds, and that was with Churnside going to what would prove to be the scoring end most part. To lead by 8 points was great by the Pioneers. They took advantage 4-1 in the second quarter to lead by 24 points at half time. Kicked the first 2 goals in the third term to have a 6-goal lead before Churnside Park went on a 5-goal run. Late goal by Whitehorse Pioneer got them to a 12-point lead when Horvath scored on the siren, and they never looked back. Held off a spirited Churnside Park to win 9-11-65 to Churnside's 8-9-57. It's ended, as you can see, Andrew Haining in the middle, leading his team for the song, and we might pick it up if we can from the Boundary Riders. Well, you can see the jubilation on the victorious Whitehorse Pioneers. They won by 8 points, and now it's getting loud. Whitehorse Pioneers victors, premiers in Division 4 of the EFNL for 2025. Well deserved. There is the cup. It's in the hands of the coach, the inspirational Andrew Haining. What a moment for the Whitehorse Pioneers. And Scott, if we can just turn away from Division 4 and look back at today's other games around the EFNL, I think you've got the Premier Division final score in the final there.
Yeah, so we only had a couple on today, but it was Roval versus East Ringwood. Roval, dominant win, 14-12-96 to East Ringwood, 4-11-35. So they go out, and the preliminary final next week will be Blackburn versus Roval. That's on Saturday at Beaconsfield Reserve. A great ground, and always good to call from down there.
And the other game, I'll give you time to scroll over with the phone there. The other final today?
Yeah, so the other finals, Div 1 in South Belgrave versus North Ringwood, a really close contest. North Ringwood have been huge through this final series, but unfortunately just couldn't get over the line. South Belgrave get the win, 11-12-78 to North Ringwood, 9-11-65. That takes the grand final on next week, where it's Park Orchards versus South Belgrave at Pigs Reserve on Sunday afternoon.
Well, that's a fantastic result. Premier Division, sad for East Ringwood, the ground we're at, hosting us beautifully today. The fact that East Ringwood went out in straight sets again in the Premier Division. They've been a great home and away side, but unfortunately the last 2 years they haven't won a final, so they bow out, and Blackburn will host the winner there. So Borwin waits for the preliminary finalists, and the preliminary final between Blackburn and Roval.
That's correct, yeah.
So that is Premier Division. Great. We look forward to the Division 1 Grand Final next Sunday at a Pigs Reserve, Kilsyth. And it's time to wrap up here from the broadcast that you've listened to on 98.1 or watched on YouTube or watched on Facebook. Gavin Casey and Chris Cordis were your commentators. It was great to have you, Scott and Blake, in the special comments. Thanks for your efforts.
Thank you. It was great to call alongside you.
And in the boundary riders, Jared Beedlin.
Thanks, Gav.
Thank you for your contribution.
Cheers.
And Oscar Ludke, also great. And we had also help from Brash and Matt Lee and Lee Odermatt. There's a lot of Lees flying around there.
There's 3 of us here today.
And there's another Lee. It's a Lee club here as the leader of LKLM Media. Fantastic. Your cameraman, spot on today. Well done.
Hang on. Yes, no, they did a fantastic job, especially under the trying conditions. It was pretty horrible. And look at this. It's now settled right down, and it's going to rain on us within the next 2 hours if we don't pack up. So let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Last thing to say, premiers for 2025 in Division 4 of the EFNL. Congratulations to the Whitehorse Pioneers.